Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, but more importantly, blue morning to you because it is indeed another Blue Morning show. So welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. And today we have quite a lot of stuff to talk about. Unfortunately for us, it just seems as if all Chelsea transfer activities at the moment revolves around Romelu Lukaku, and there's nothing we can do to avoid it. If I had the opportunity, I will most definitely avoid it, but I just cannot. It is what it is. We'll deal with it. So sit back, relax, and we will talk about Chelsea transfers today. Yes, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, and welcome back to the Blue Morning Show. We'll talk quite a lot about Chelsea, Inter Milan, Romelu Lukaku, and then we'll talk about Gabriel Jesus. Unfortunately, I had already scheduled the show before I heard what I think I'm seeing one of the family members there in the chat says, but we will talk about it too. We're not going to leave anything. That's why it is the Blue Morning Show. People in the chat also contribute to the growth of the channel even more than those on the panel. So we will see what we have to talk about today. Let me look at what we have in the chat. It says, Liam here, always the first. I think you've taken the #1 spot from Phantom of Many Topics. Liam says, Blue morning, coach, and everyone joining. Blue morning to you too, Liam. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Nick says White Hart Lane. I'm not sure why he's saying White Hart Lane. Maybe he heard something we don't know. Blue morning to you too, Nick. I hope you're doing well. Says hi, Nick Blue. Okay. And Phantom. Yes, for a few days now, you've lost the first spot to Lamb Lane. It's a good thing anyway. #6 to hit the like. We'll join a bit later today, not immediately. Okay, brother, whenever time allows. Again, says... Fabrizio Romano says we have made an inquiry for Jesus. Okay, not an offer. Again, because we've talked about him, I think, around 3 times on the show here. Some argued that he will fit into Thomas Tuchel's style of play because he is a hybrid striker. He's not like an out-and-out striker. He can also play on the flank. And again, on his day, he's a fine finisher. And you could argue that had he started more games than he's done of late under Pep Guardiola, that he'd score more goals. I think I rate him highly. If it comes, at least maybe the best way to argue this is that he's better than what we have at the moment. I hope we're seriously looking at him. If we're not going to get, for me, he is the second option or the second on my list of strikers we should be looking at because we shouldn't make that mistake. We shouldn't make that mistake of going for an out-and-out striker again under Thomas Tuchel, of which I've argued a million times why we shouldn't do that. And if you want me to say it again, I'd say it again. The reason being Thomas Tuchel is not known to play with the defined strikers or traditional strikers or out-and-out strikers, if you prefer. So if you look at his team let's say from Mainz. At Mainz, he didn't really play with an out-and-out striker. So that shows you why it's important that we do not waste money trying to bring in such players at Chelsea Football Club. It will be a huge risk. So again, that's why I'm calling that we be careful. I'd rather see us bring in somebody like Lautaro Martinez, Gabriel Jesus, or Nkunku, who usually plays as a second striker, to join us rather than go for another out-and-out striker. Even if it is Lewandowski, I think I'd still be concerned. Just give me a second. I'm trying to share something somewhere, but my screen is frozen. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm back with you guys, and thank you for your patience. Here it says, today I don't have coffee. I hope I don't sleep off. Says, but reason reminder, yeah, I read that also made an inquiry for Gabriel Jesus, and I know he'd prefer coming to Chelsea rather than Arsenal, because we have Champions League football, and Arsenal doesn't have Champions League football. And he'd argue he'd been in England long enough to know that Chelsea will probably win more trophies before Arsenal gets to win even one more. Nick says, "Coach, send me the link if." Okay. Trinidad and Tobago in the house again. Good morning, my brother. Always listening to you. Saljo Ba, nice to see you, my brother, from Trinidad and Tobago. I cannot thank you enough for the support and love you've shown this channel. I sincerely do appreciate that. And please, again, we've tried for a couple of days. We have not been able to reach 300 likes. Let's try and make that happen today. As you're coming in, be sure you're liking the video and be sure to share the video on social media platforms where you have presence, on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and whatever. I'd really appreciate that. Rodriguez, a big up everyone watching you from Canary Wharf, London. Nice to hear that, brother. You've become a family here, and I love you so much, brother. You know that I respect your knowledge of football. And again, please tell us where you're watching from. That makes us happy, helps us know how far wide we're reaching people. Lee says, and Rodrigo, okay, just saying hello to the people here. Big up, coach, says Freddie. Freddie, nice to see you too. Big up to you too, and I hope you're doing well. Anything else to read here? Rodriguez says, okay, just saying hello. Chelsea will listen to offers for Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, and Christian Pulisic in the summer. Source, Jacob Steinberg. I think listening to those offers, I think you'd argue all depends on the possibility of the club bringing in reinforcements. It's not going to be that simple. Already, the club have quite a lot of work to do, to fix the defensive department, because we'll be losing, let's say, for sure, what's his name? Andreas Christensen will be gone. Tony Rudiger will be gone. Marcos Alonso wants to leave. There's a chance as Aspilicueta joins them too. That makes it four players from the defensive area leaving potentially. And that the defensive area, as I've argued before, is one of the most difficult department in a team to assemble, because you have to have a mix of aggression, leadership, pace, for it to be a solid defensive line, if you want to phrase it that way. But that's, by the way, let's see what happens. So the reason I say that is there's a chance the club might not have the time to sell players in the attacking area to make way for incomings. Let's see if they're able to do it. I'd take it, and I'd be really surprised. Hopefully they don't do that in a haste and make a big mistake. Hello everyone, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share it as much as you can. Says All Stars Tournament. Nice to see you here, brother. I appreciate you saying that. It says Lukaku wouldn't go to Inter, and I have a theory. Go ahead, shoot. Let's hear you. Inter going for Dybala. Then they have Dybala and Martinez. Why would they go for Romelu Lukaku? I think it's a solid argument there and a theory, and you make perfect sense there, because Lukaku will be another expenses for them. It's not going to be for free, so it just doesn't make sense. I think you could argue we're stuck with him. I hope that's not the case. Let's even find a buyer. I want him to leave and live permanently, because if he leaves on a loan, he comes back to us again at the end of the season, especially if he doesn't do well. Then again, it will start occurring to us that we're still stuck with him, and he cannot work for us ever. So, but that's, by the way, Good afternoon, Smith David, my brother from India says. A good afternoon, bro. I am fine with both Bastoni, Skriniar, as long as the Sankey called. Leaves my club. Again, I personally decided to change his name from Lukaku to that. Thank you. Again, you have every reason to show your dissent of the player if you feel like he hasn't done well by us. He's done us dirty anyway, if you ask me. He never liked us. He was all printers. Nunes to Liverpool, Erling to Man City were linked with Jesus and Richarlison. If Lukaku leaves the club, we would have to rely on our current players. And then Timo Werner is our front man. Again, here's the thing I want you to understand. Even if Romelu Lukaku leaves and we're not able to bring in another striker, I will not be concerned. Honestly, deep down, I would not be concerned. And I'll tell you why. We have shown that we play better in the absence of Lukaku. That's not saying that Lukaku is a better player. That's just saying how fluid our attack is in the absence of always is in the absence of Lukaku. How many chances we're able to create when Lukaku isn't playing? Yes, he's our highest goal scorer, but we create less chances whenever he's on the pitch for us, and we're less fluid whenever he's on the pitch for us. So that shows you he's created more problems for us than he can solve. So I don't know if what I said just makes sense, and I don't know if it is because whenever he's on the pitch, it just seems as if maybe subconsciously or by design, it just seems as if our wingers or the wing backs or forward wingers, their responsibility, it just seems as if their primary responsibility is to find Lukaku in the pitch, which means the whole focus of scoring goal comes down to one man, and that's not okay when you're talking about building a team. Again, we'll see what happens. I swear at this rate, a Skriniar-Lukaku swap will be a win-win for both teams. You could say that, but it remains to be seen whether Inter will be open for a swap. Why do I say that? They need money. I've said that like a zillion times. Inter need cash. They need to balance the book. And they need to show certain measure of profit. I've forgotten what date, or they're in trouble. So that's why I've always, I've been saying it. I've said it like a zillion times. They don't want exchanges. They want money. They want player. They don't want player exchange. They want money. Okay. So I feel like Lukaku might stay, and we might play with 4 at the back. That's a chance that happens, but it's going to be pretty difficult because Thomas Tuchel has shown he prefers playing 3 at the back, the 3 at the back system rather than play 4 at the back. But we'll see what happens. I've argued on occasions how he likes to switch up the formation, but I just don't know what has happened at Chelsea. He's done that on occasions, but it didn't really work out. Sometimes it works. They want a swap up because Chelsea owe Inter money. That's another point, and not otherwise around. Yep, Chelsea owe Inter money, and Inter wants money right now. The way it is, they want money to balance the books. So, and if they do any swap, they'll probably be losing the money that Chelsea owe them. So that's why even a loan doesn't really make sense. And you could argue that's why the deal, the planned exchange deal is, is so complicated. I'd be surprised if it gets done by the end of the window if they're really serious about it. Again, let's see. Says Nankia Mary from Uganda. Mary, nice to see you here. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Big up Coach and Chad. Glenn, nice to see you. I hope things are well on your end. Getting a coffee. Be right back. I'm happy it's not a beer this time, Lee. I hope you're doing well. We might sell Werner to Bayern. I think there's a chance that's Bayern will be Timo Werner's likely destination. Why do I say that? Here's the thing. Timo Werner had his best form under, what's the Bayern's coach name? I forgot again. Julian Nagelsmann. He had his best form under him at Leipzig. And Nagelsmann has come out openly and said, we don't know how to use Timo Werner. Yes, Bayern then, they were division among the board whether to go for Timo Werner or not. But having Nagelsmann there, if they really want to support him, I think they'd help him get a Timo Werner. And so there's a likelihood he leaves. And if he's leaving, then I think the club will also prioritize getting in a new attacker, maybe Nkunku or Gabriel Jesus, who you could argue is a better player than Timo Werner. Maybe Timo Werner, you could argue, is just quicker, and that's it. Inter will be getting rid of Sanchez. Dybala could be his replacement. So you're saying there's still chance for them to do business with Chelsea Football Club. We'll see. And Innocent says we're not acting fast. There's no way to tell whether we're acting fast or not. The club may well be doing quite a lot of business behind closed doors, because usually they don't want these things to be open, to be known to the public, because sometimes you have you done the scouting work for an opposition team, and the moment they hear you're going for a certain player, they come and snap up the player. I hope that's not the case. And this is my brother Bobby Fairview, Blessed Kuchila, big up the chat. What is this a panic buy? Jesus nonsense we're hearing. Dina, we learn anything from last year's about buying a failed strikers? Here's the thing. I get your argument, but I wouldn't say Gabriel Jesus is a failed striker. But the truth is, inquiry doesn't mean we're going to buy him. Inquiry just simply means we want to know if it is something we want to do in terms of, whether he's available for us, and probably whether how much is on sale for. But you could argue he's better than what we have. Should we be looking at players such as Jonathan David or Christopher Nkunku and, of course, Lautaro Martinez? I'd argue those are the players we should be looking at, because most especially Lautaro Martinez, who you could argue is the most suitable, for, or will be a perfect striker for Thomas Tuchel. But we'll see what happens. Let's just say it's all speculations at this point. I'll big up before if you've seen Richarlison, shouts now to yeah, exactly. So, and that's one player I like him. I like his energy. I like his industry on the pitch. But I still argue he's not a Chelsea material in terms of his overall quality. Again, that's me. Blue morning to you too, Gabriel Almas. I'm going to try to catch up quickly here. Pick up Gabriel and says, I think there's nothing else here. Good afternoon, bro. I enjoy your program, bro. I prefer Broja than Lukaku. You and I the same. Bola, my nature, brother. You and I the same. I take Broja any time or any day than Lukaku. Lukaku is more experienced. And it's, been there, done that. Again, Broja will get there, and he has the potential to become an even better player than Romelu Lukaku, because you could argue he's more technically gifted. Again, that's my argument. Is Amanda Broja still our player? He is still our player, and he has around 4 years left in on his contract. Any plans for TT to give him a chance? He's promised to give him a chance. The plan actually this past season was to bring him back, and have him stay at the club. But that didn't happen. TT to give him a chance. I can see that happening. Says, let's see. It says again another update here from All Stars Tournament. That's why the Blue Morning Show is a brilliant show. Everybody, including those that trusted family members in the chat, bring us updates as we go, and it's all helpful. And with that, I want to say, please, if you haven't, we have 66 people watching, and we have just 29 likes. We should have even more likes. Please, if you haven't, do like the video to help us reach more people, because the more people we reach, the more people would join us here, and the more fun the show will be, and the quicker we get to 3,000 subscribers. Right now, we are at 2,704 subscribers. We have around the 296 subscribers more to get to 3,000 subscribers, and we will get there as soon as possible. So thank you in advance for subscribing and also liking the video. Says, let me read that. He says, Chelsea and Manchester United are interested in signing Leicester City defender Wesley Fofana, who is valued at 18 million. I think it's going to be even way cheaper. I think if we're trying to sign him because of the space in the left center back position, I'd say we give a Levi Colwell a chance. I think he'd do well there, because it's not just him. He'd be playing alongside Jules Kounde, Thiago Silva, or maybe Koulibally if we get to sign Koulibally, or even maybe De Ligt. So I think he'd be fine with those guys. He'd be comfortable knowing that he has more experienced players playing alongside him that will help him mature quickly and help him develop even better. Bro, please, can you explain how Chelsea is owing Inter Milan money? Smith David, I think, let me see. Yep, there you go. You have it there. True Blue has explained, because usually when you sign players, in most cases, it depends on the amount. You don't pay everything at the same time. You pay them in beats, instrumentals. So not a one-time payment. It doesn't happen like that in most cases. Yep. So that's why we're still owing them 70 million plus. It says, okay, this is him just saying hello. What's he saying again? All Stars and Glenn. Oh, and Kuchila Lukaku. Well, it's not my fault. There's hardly, it's not even possible for you to talk about Chelsea Football Club, the players they're linked with right now, without talking about Romelu Lukaku. Because we bought Lukaku from Inter, we have to pay Inter money, and we didn't pay everything at the same time. Jesus isn't better than what we have. Can you elaborate on that? As we don't create enough for our strikers, we have a front three who wants to get the glory most of the times. You could argue that a City is better at creating clear-cut chances. Let me phrase it like that. Here's the truth. Again, the problem you could say with our strikers or our forward players is this: we play as a unit when we defend, play as a unit moving forward, play as a unit to press on the opposition. But once we get to the final third, everybody wants to be the scorer. I think you made a great point there. Smith David, because payments are staggered over a period of time. Yet you don't pay at the same time. Fofana is Premier League proven, all like the Ligt, Kounde, etc. Interesting. Yeah, again, the Premier League proven thing, you can say it's no guarantee because we've had players move from one club to other within the Premier League and still don't do well. That is no guarantee at all. We know that, although in the case of Fernando Torres, the argument has always been that he was injured even before they sold him to us. And again, but one thing you must take into account is managers approach games differently. That's a chance. You could argue the player fits in perfectly in the other manager's approach to the game, he may well not fit into our own managers, approach to the game. That's a possibility you must consider. Great channel. Thank you very much, John Afali. Nice to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. Chelsea are weighing up a move for Raheem Sterling this summer. We've heard that 1,000 times, but that may well be, you could call it a construct by the Raheem Sterling camp to get Manchester City to move quickly and give the player what he wants. And I think I read something saying Manchester they're not considering letting him go. And again, Pep likes to keep a very large squad. There was a time you could argue almost the whole season John Stones was on the bench for Man City, but boom, he's almost a regular right now if you want to see it that way. So I don't think Raheem Sterling is actually coming to Chelsea. We should just put that one to bed and look beyond it. Sheila, we don't play with strikers, we play with a false nine. That's the truth. That's the difference between our forwards and strikers who are who you are criticizing. Yep. Breaking Liverpool have reached a full agreement with Benfica over the signing of Darwin Núñez. They agreed 80 million. That's a lot. That is quite a lot. But we'll see how well he does. I wish him well. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share as much as you can. And thank you very much, All Stars Tournament. I do appreciate that. Am I the only one feeling like we are going for City's hand meet? I think the way who did that yesterday said something like, why are we helping and who asked questions such as why are we helping Manchester City cut down their wage bill and our ass is growing? That's when we talked about Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling and all that. I think that's one thing. When you look at it, it sounds as if, in fact, they're trying, to sell some players, to still accommodate, the players who are on a high wage. Like Sterling is already on 300, right? Or a little less. Let's say if it is less, it won't be too much. So if he comes to Chelsea, so probably he'll be going up to 300 or 350 plus. So yeah, who said that yesterday? Why did I forget that? So, but that's, by the way, again, if you're watching, please we have just 34 likes when we have 79 people watching. We should be doing better than 34 likes. Please, if you haven't, do like the video. Like the video to show that you're happy. Again, we're still in that period that our club, we've overcome one of the darkest periods so far in the history of our club, and we're here, and we'll probably come out of it. We're probably stronger and better now. Yes, like the video to show that you're happy, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me say I've read that from Glenn. He says there are good players in their own right, but I don't know. Again, that's a chance. All these things are just rumors. There's a chance there's no atom of truth in all of them. But it is silly seasons. It is the silly season. So whenever such stories come up, we try to look at it to make a sense out of it. But that of Gabriel Jesus makes some measure of sense, which means the club will be looking at him, but they'd probably wait to see what happens between the club's negotiations with Inter Milan. But that's, by the way, that remains to be seen if it's going to happen. Let me see. Now, let's start talking about what we're hearing. Some people are saying that Chelsea are looking to get in 3 players from Inter Milan, and those 3 players include Lautaro Martinez, Skriniar, and also Bastoni. I don't think that's the truth at all. I think some people have actually added one more player. I think if there's a chance Chelsea gets a player from Inter Milan, it will be one player. And I'm thinking it's not going to be, I don't think it will be Bastoni. It would not make sense to go for Bastoni, whereas, Levi Colwill has shown that he can play in that position and execute it quite well. So I just don't understand where the rumors are coming from. We're talking with Inter Milan, whom we've had on several occasions, that they need to balance the books, that they need to show some measure of profit by the end of the season, or not the end of the season, by a certain date. I'm not sure what date exactly, or they'd be in serious trouble. So I don't know where the rumors are coming from that we're able to get 3 players from them and then still give them Romelu Lukaku, while we still owe them 70 million plus. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. But it's easier. People just suck up whatever they hear or whatever that is being pushed to them. Again, like I said, it doesn't sound like it makes sense at all. So why are we even talking about Bastoni? I don't think it's a deal that would make sense for us. Plus, he's just recovering from injury. There's no guarantee. I don't know. Tell me if he played for Italy in the friendlies or so, but there's no guarantee what type of player we're getting. I think we'll be fine in that area. I just don't want to talk too much about him. Says we play. Have I read this? Manchester United have offered 60 plus 20 million in add-ons for Barcelona's Frankie de Jong. I think I've heard before that he said he's not going to go to Manchester United, but let's see what happens. We play a false 9, yet wanted Haaland. Yeah, we wanted Haaland, Lewandowski, and all the best strikers to come here and change their playing style. Again, that's why I've argued the rumors linking us with Lewandowski just doesn't make sense. And why are we even bothering going for another traditional striker if the manager has come out openly and said that he's not gonna change the system to accommodate a single individual? Because if you get a traditional striker, there's a need. The way Thomas Tuchel likes to approach the game, there's a need that will be necessary for the club for we to tweak the way we play to accommodate the new player, and he's shown that he's not willing to do that. And again, I keep sounding like a broken record. Follow his team from Borussia Dortmund to PSG. He doesn't like to use traditional strikers. So, and again, that makes me, I'm concerned about Armando Broja, whether he'd like to come back to Chelsea. And I don't think that will happen if he senses it that he's going to see him as a traditional striker and only use him when he plays against certain teams. But that's, by the way, a false 9 or as a deeper lying forward. Again, that's another way to say that I am critical if the defensive system, which particularly stifles our attack, especially strikers in our system. Again, that's a good one. Chelsea target Alessandro Bastoni will stay at Inter Milan next season. His agent has announced he's definitely staying. He has a contract and is happy at Inter Milan. Again, that may well be the case. And the truth is, Inter are looking to make money. Inter are looking to make money. They're not, and I don't think Bastoni will fetch them that much money. The player that's capable of fetching them enough money will be Lautaro Martinez, followed by Skriniar, but not Bastoni. He's not going to fetch them enough to balance the books. They'd have to make more sales if their hope is to sell Bastoni and balance the books. Skriniar or Kounde, I think I'll take Kounde anytime, any day. Again, that's me. And we've also agreed terms with him. I think maybe I haven't watched Skriniar enough, but we'll talk about him in a bit. Let's say both. I'll tell you why I wouldn't take both. We have once again Levi Colwill. If we're really gonna give him a chance, and we still have what's his name, Chalobah, who can also play in that position. And we're not sure whether the club will go for Jules Kounde or not. So I don't think Skriniar is good from what I've seen, but I don't think we should add him to the list. I think would be good with Levi Colwill, Trevor Chalobah, Jules Kounde, again, De Ligt. That is if De Ligt is the option we're going to go for. De Ligt or Koulibally plus Thiago Silva, I think would be good in that department if you ask me. But then again, I'm not the manager. I don't think we should go for both. Tell me what you think if you're in the chat. Can we call a Drogba and lock him in a room with Lukaku for 24 hours, talk some sense into him? Again, let's look at this way. Lukaku's issues isn't whether he's smart or not. I think his biggest problem is the question we should be asking: does he really want to play for us, even if he doesn't? Yeah, even if he wanted to play for us before he came to us, all those unfinished business at Chelsea, how much he loved Chelsea, and how he visited Chelsea when he was still a teenager, and all that. They all seem like nonsense at this point, given his behavior. Again, do I blame him? No, I don't really blame him entirely. Why? Because the manager has refused to change the system to accommodate him. So we must be truthful to ourselves. And why did we sign him in the first place? And no matter how you see it, you have to blame the scouts. You have to blame the manager, because there's no way that the Chelsea would complete the signing of the man without the scouts saying, I think we could do with him. Or without Thomas Tuchel saying, okay, well, I think we can make it work. There's no way that's possible. We have a scout whose job is to say, this player we're going for, I don't think he's going to work for us. Had they said something, even though, they're saying the rumors are Roman Abramovich was the one that, went for Romelu Lukaku, that, he could, had the scout said something, I think he would have thought that, thought about it for a while and say, okay, I agree. Or even Thomas Tuchel, had they said, I don't think this is going to work, he's going to work for us, then the club wouldn't have signed him. But because he okayed it, we signed him. So as we blame people, we should blame Lukaku to a certain measure, but mainly we should blame the manager, blame the scouts, or blame the club. Don't blame the player. Yes, he's pushing for a move. If I were him, I'd push for a move too, because the signs are it is clearly written boldly on the walls right now that he's not wanted at Chelsea. Even the fans have turned against him. The manager doesn't trust him that much. Even when he's fit, he hardly starts him. So he is best. At best, this is the opposite of a marriage made in heaven. It is a marriage made in hell. I think the best thing would be for him to leave the club. Again, Strippier says, sorry, boss, but busy, but listening. Thank you very much, Queen. The Queen of all streams. Nice to see you. That even when you're busy, you're still listening. Much love to you, and I so much appreciate all the support that I've gotten from you for this channel, even still when I had just 20 subscribers plus. I sincerely do appreciate that. This is Matthew Lee Benjamin. Smack that like button. I think it was Matthew that argued yesterday, why are we helping Manchester City cut down their huge salary, player wages on. I think that it was him that said that. But that's, by the way, please, if you haven't, keep liking the video, please, and also subscribe to the channel. Sheila, there's an issue to take up with Tuchel. I've made my feelings known on the system. You didn't say who you're criticizing or not. Okay, or not creating. Again, let's say if we get a top striker and still have Havertz and Werner, Lukaku, I fear that Broja will return. Broja will return gives me Tammy vibes. I think that there will be some it's difficult to say because there are players who you'd argue would want to leave, but the question remains: would the club let them go? And it's not that simple, because if the club don't see the possibility of getting reinforcement, I doubt they'd let any player leave the club. So it is actually not that simple, not at all. So, but that's, by the way, I think Stripia says he'd take Kounde over Skriniar. Again, that I said the same thing. I do the same. Can we swap Jorginho for? I must say the truth. I don't know the player you're talking about there. It's going to be a Madness Friday. It's coming up. Yeah, it's going to be so. And again, I want to let the people know I'm talking to a female presenter who hopefully will come to an agreement, and she starts, presenting for Chelsea Perspective, and also will be covering mainly. She take the lead on the channel's covering of the women's, performances and events, if you want to phrase it like that. Is Gabriel Jesus a target realistic? If Manchester City wants to sell him and we want him, that's when you say, excuse me, that it is realistic. Now, can you say it is realistic? I'd say no. For obvious reasons, we're not sure. Everything you see out there, is all the things you see out there are all speculations and rumors. 118 watching and 47 likes. Can't you do a little more, please? Yes, please listen to the queen of all streams. Do a little more likes, like the video more. Let's shoot for 200 likes today. The more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will join us here on the show, and the more fun it will be. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Right now we have 120 people watching, so we should have at least 100 likes. It is free. Please just take a second and drop a like on the video. Here it says KCA will be a free agent come June 30th. He's still, that is, if we're able to get him. Still don't understand why these players are so crazy about going to Barcelona. That's a brilliant question. How do they convince them? How are Barcelona able to convince them? And these players know fully well that Barcelona are struggling from a financial perspective. They're asking players to take a wage cut. They renting their arena for weddings to make money, and yet these players are all bent on joining them. Maybe the promise is that we'll pay you how much you want, even though we have problems, because they're really struggling. So I don't know what they tell these players that make them not look beyond the financial crisis that the club are in right now. So, but that's, by the way, bro, please, can you explain how Chelsea, again, I think you've asked that question, and I think True Blue tried to explain. I'm not an expert in terms of how, player sales are, in terms of player payment from player sales are structured. But like I said, you pay the money. It depends on how much it is. Instrumentals, you don't pay them at the same time, especially when it's 100 million plus. So that's why we're still owing them. Sometimes there are some add-ons like player performances, goal scores, or something. It depends on what you agree upon. Again, so that's why that's the best explanation you can get from me. I'm not an expert in terms of that. Chelsea have decided to reject all offers for Amanda Broja this summer, as Thomas Tuchel wants him to be part of his squad next season. That is some good news. And who is Tuto Makato Webb? How reliable is the person? It remains to be seen. But again, I trust you because you're a member of the family here. Whatever update you have to us, I take it. Again, you guys are absolute legend. I think we're killing the like button right now, and that is a good thing. We're up to 62 likes, and we haven't gotten up to 1 hour mark yet. So you guys are absolute legends. So keep liking the video. We're at 61 likes right now. Keep liking the video and keep subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Now, Declan said, big up, brother, big up. How you doing, bro? I did send you the link in case you have time to join, but I know you're a very busy man. Ousmane Idrissa says he is not adaptive and versatile, period. Again, you could argue it like that. We're all entitled to our opinions. And Ousmane, it looks like this is the first time I'm seeing you here. Please, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Big up Declan. How can you blame scouts? Lukaku said he can do everything. Said we play like Belgium. Lukaku said everything. So let me ask you this, Declan. Oh my gosh, why are you not on the panel? Let me ask you this. I think I love you, but you and I are going to start a fight about this one. Here's where you blame the scout. So the scout cannot go get a player because that player told them he scored 40 goals. Why don't they do the same too? Since if they okay the signing of Lukaku, because Lukaku said Chelsea play said Chelsea he can, because Lukaku said he can do everything, because Lukaku said Chelsea play like Belgium, because Lukaku said everything. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. So the scout will now sign even the worst player in the world based on what the player says and not because of what they've seen. So this argument here, Declan, I love you. But no, that one sucks. I have to say it to you, brother. We need this speed and a great passer. Then do we need a striker? Yeah, we do need, again, do we need a striker? I'm not going to say yes to that one. What is, if we go for a traditional striker, what is Thomas Tuchel going to do with that striker? He may well end up having the same problem he's having with Romelu Lukaku with that striker if they're not able to adapt to his system. I think he prefers a what you could call a false nine, like True Blue has mentioned, or a hybrid striker. So I don't think it would be a good idea to bring in another striker. Drogba was such a complete striker and heading ability, good left, right foot. Again, good on the ball, off the ball, not forgetting his free kicks. Lukaku is nowhere near that. Again, maybe Lukaku is bigger, so that is that one counts too. He has an attitude problem. I wouldn't say that. I don't train with them. How would I know? I cannot. Ousmane, wallahi, I don't agree with that one. I have to be honest with you. Just remember Champions League. Yep, it makes sense. Why are we not looking at the defensive midfielder? We are. They say we're looking at Bissouma and we're also looking at Ibrahim Sangare, and we tried to compare them yesterday. But we couldn't. The software I tried to use, didn't work as it should. Well, again, I've read that before. Felix, nice to see you again today, brother. He said people should stop blaming Lukaku. Yep, you can't blame the player entirely. After all, he started well also. We must remember that. All we know, Titi's system doesn't suit Lukaku. He was good before the interview. He's surely not happy with the system. Titi won't change if for anything. So we should be talking about let him go for his own good and the club's own good. Gitonga, some players like Spain and they're big too. Again, I think I'm going to skip quite a lot so that I'll catch up. If I keep reading, I may well not stop till the end of the show because, again, we don't have a studio engineer yet. So that's going to be a big problem for me. We do need a CDM. I agree. That's a very important area. We must, get a player in case Kante isn't playing. But with that, I want to go back to the panel and say welcome to LST and my brother LBZ. How are you guys doing?
How far, my brother?
I can't complain. Nice to have you on the panel. How about you, LST? How are you doing?
Yeah, not so bad, man. You're okay.
Brilliant. LBC, I'm going to start with you. There are rumors, I'm sure you must have heard about it, that we're looking at, I wouldn't say raiding Inter Milan, because I think people are like mixing the whole thing up. They're saying we're going to be asking Inter for Lautaro Martinez, Skriniar, and also Bastoni. I think that's absolute nonsense. It's not even possible. Remember, we still owe them money. I think if anything, Chelsea will be looking to sign Lautaro Martinez, but let's just believe the stories out there. if Chelsea are looking to get either of the three, because some stories say Chelsea are looking to get either Lautaro Martinez, Skriniar, or Bastoni from Inter Milan. If that's the case, given that's a chance that Lukaku leaves the club, which of these players that you think will be best going for?
In the case, this depends. From reports I saw yesterday, this man Romelu, he wants to leave. It's not a situation where we're looking to fight for his place or that type of thing. He actually wants to leave. So I think the reports now is Inter are looking at the possibility of a loan deal for Lukaku and a part exchange with Skriniar. I saw Skriniar, Bastoni. I don't know how they're going to do that deal. It is possible. I just don't know how it's going to be done. I don't think it will be a Lautaro Martinez. No. That's just too.
Why don't you think it will be Martinez?
That asset is too prized for Inter Milan to let go, even if they are.
No, they want to sell. They want to sell. Remember the thing. See, here's the thing, LVZ. They have to sell to make money to balance the books. I think they need to show plus 50 million. I'm not sure the exact amount, as in terms of profit, by a certain date. So they have to sell. Yeah, they have to sell. They just,
I believe they may sell. They may sell their, like, again, Skriniar, maybe Bastoni. But I don't know. I don't see.
Will Skriniar fetch them enough money? If they're bringing in Dybala, like we're hearing, that adds, to the ground they need to cover. To have a positive, account by the time they get to that point.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. Did Dybala he's not leaving on a free, is he?
No, I think. Let me see. If he's not leaving on a free, but that wasn't the situation.
I did watch his final game. He did say his goodbyes. He did say his goodbyes on his final game. But I don't know. I don't know his contract. It's not for free, is it?
Go ahead. I'm coming. Let me check. Dybala, Juventus contract. Let me find out. I think if he's not living on a free, then that worsens the situation for him. Then it's even more complicated than we think. You get the point now, because they'd have to pay some money to Juventus. Except if Juventus wants something from them, he says, June 30th, he leaves on a free.
Okay, so he leaves on a free to Inter Milan. Let's just, I haven't seen reports, but let's say that. So that may allow Lautaro to leave. Again, I don't see that is a prized asset. I think that's their most prized asset.
Same thing. Lukaku was the same thing for them, but they had to let him go because they wanted the money. If they don't show a positive account, or let's say against that amount in question by the given date, they're in serious trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lukaku was the same for them, and I was one of those that argued that they were never going to sell Lukaku because he's broken a few. He made history. He broke up about 2-3 records at Inter Milan. I think he's in history. He's now the current highest goal scorer. Correct me if I'm wrong, or something like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I reckon in the case of him, I reckon he will leave. Based on reports from yesterday, he does want to leave. They do want to get into talks. His lawyers talking with Inter Milan, talking with Chelsea, seeing how that works. Who comes in exchange for him? I would love to see Lautaro. I don't know how that's going to happen. I highly doubt it.
It is never going to be an exchange, if you ask me. They would want the money we owe them for Lukaku.
Yeah.
And they would want the money, how much they want to sell Lautaro Martinez for. Here's how that makes us the favorite to sign him, because we can tell them if you can agree to sell Lautaro to us, then we can give you Lukaku on loan. But they know we're desperate, so that makes it even more complicated.
It's a very complicated issue.
It's not that simple. And from what I've read, we'll be paying Lukaku 200k a week to be scoring goals for Inter Milan.
Inter Milan is again. So this is all financial situations in which Todd Boehly would need to sit down and find out what's the best financial situation for this guy, for this club. You know, Lukaku will leave more than likely to Inter, and who's coming in replacement, or who we're going to bring in from their camp. It more probably be a defender. Probably if Lautaro signs, then I'm going to be so ecstatic.
We'll see. We'll see. Again, if we're really looking, because you already find in the right centre back position if Kounde is coming in, and also we have Chalobah on the left hand side. I think if we're trying to get Skriniar for the left centre-back position, then it doesn't make sense because he plays primarily on the right-hand side for them, except when Bastoni isn't playing. So if we're even going for that position, then we're really going for a second fiddle player for that position. I don't know if you get what I explained, but we'll come back to that in a bit. Let's see quickly. Let me just catch up with the chat.
Give me 2 minutes.
All right, no problem, bro. Take all the time you need. Now, we have 68 likes, and we have 122 people watching. Please keep liking the video. I think we've done quite well. 68 likes. Yeah, we've beaten the. We're gonna beat the hour mark. Let's try and get to 100 likes by the time we get to 1 hour. So please keep liking the video if you haven't. Like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Liam Lane says, I have my painting decorator here, coach. You're keeping him entertained. I see Charles, a big Chelsea fan. Thank you and nice to hear. And I hope he does a good job there. I appreciate the compliment there. Thank you very much. Says, never hated our club. Yep, we love, it's all love here. It's all love here. Well, big club. And we well love the whole world. I hear you, but I genuinely believe that if you don't get a DM, we won't get top 4. The attackers we are linked with don't make sense, and I'm not confident about the defense. Again, you could argue that, but I'd say the most suitable for Thomas Tuchel, the way he wants to play. If you give him that, if he makes excuses come next season, then he has a serious problem. I think we should look at getting in Lautaro Martinez for him, because is he available? He's available, but striking a deal is what is the most difficult right now. Because why do I say he's available? I think he's the guy that has the most value to get them the most money to be able to balance their books. Kounde is the very best. You could argue that. Good thing now Thomas Tuchel is given control over Chelsea transfers, being it those who are leaving the club, those who's coming in. So now, and hoping he will be getting exactly what he wants. Yeah, I agree with you, but next season, no excuses. That's just how it is. And I'm sure nothing has changed, under the new ownership. Like Roman will give you the money to spend. Then after spending, if you don't deliver, you're in trouble. Share, subscribe, kick bottom. Yes, people keep sharing and keep subscribing. I mean, Otomel of Juventus. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know him that well. But again, if you suggest him, tell us how good he is. Barcelona are one of the clubs interested in Raheem Sterling. It's just doesn't make sense how all these players are linked to Barcelona. Why they say they don't have money? Where are they getting the money from?
Where are they getting the money from?
Yeah, maybe we should all
Spotify. Maybe Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should all tweet to buy a DM. Then they listen. That's a chance that that could well happen. Barcelona convinces because they produced or had players like Messi. They want to be part of the history. There's a chance it just comes down to the history of the club. That may well be the case. It's football doping. Maybe football CFC can. Yeah, I think that comment was funny, but it makes sense. We will see what TT wants. Let's see exactly. Melo is just a young Jorginho, and we don't want that if that's the case. I'm back. Nice to see you back here, and I hope you're enjoying your coffee. Football Candy, again, I'm going to skip quite a lot, so if you don't mind, I will miss your comments, but I want to be all caught up. Or let me just keep going through it while I bring in LSC. So LSC, your thoughts on, because I don't think the rumors that we want, the 3 of them, I think it's absolute nonsense. But I think the one I read that is the truth. We're looking to get at least one of them. To you, if eventually Lukaku leaves, or if he's going to leave, really, which of the players do you think we should be getting that will, help us do well next season?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think is an issue of whether if he leaves. It's a question of when he leaves. Uh,
Hmm.
we want him out of here. All right. Um, the situation here is this. I don't agree with the notion that we are in a desperate position when it comes to Lukaku Day. The
You
only
don't
person,
think?
no, we are not in any desperate position whatsoever. Like I've
Hmm.
explained in our previous streams, the depth, all right, the depth, include Lukaku's deal, all right, because it was made within the last financial year that we had, okay? So between then and now, all right, so everything is already covered up. The only person desperate to clean up the mess will be the board, all right, will be Marina, will be Bruce Bock. Those are the only people that are desperate to clean it up because they don't want it to be a stain in their legacy. All right. So those are the only people that will be in a desperate position. As far as Thomas Tuchel's position being, though the position of a manager has not been mentioned, but it's almost like giving him the position of the manager because of what is now been allowed and freed up to do. But I still think it's not enough. And whatever happened, we shouldn't judge him on that because it's not enough for him to have a say without a director of football to help in that decision. So this is just going to be more work for him, which I don't think he's particularly fond of. All right. So but that gives him the opportunity to be more assertive
Hmm.
with players because we see with the women's team, for those people that have been paying attention, they didn't become these winning machines that they are today if they were changing managers. They did become this winning machine that they are today if Mahrez was, Lily Dally with the players. She is very, very ruthless, absolutely ruthless. All right. We've seen players, women crying that they didn't make the team. They are crying, all right, because they couldn't make it because she was clear. We don't do second fiddle here. This is Chelsea, all right. This is what we're talking about. So this new
So you're
position.
referring to Bastoni, or you're referring to Skriniar?
No, 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 no. I'm talking about. I'm still talking about the position of Tuchel.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Comparing it to Emma. All right. So that's one aspect. All right. So when it comes to decision making this time around,
Hmm.
Tuchel can be more direct, all right, without fear or favor. We saw what happened the moment the sanction, the moment the club was sanctioned. What happened? Tuchel was free to bench Lukaku. He was free. He didn't have that burden on him anymore. You see, so I don't want him, a single player like Lukaku to be the determining factor of a manager that could sustain us for a lifetime. So
I
at
think
this point,
so. Sorry to cut you off there. You just to echo what you were saying. You are absolutely correct in Tuchel ruthlessness as well. It was even before the takeover, the sanctions that he was even dropping Lukaku because
yeah,
it was
yeah,
when he
but
came back from his
he was still
injury.
looking over his shoulders while he was doing that. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm trying to say is this, all right? For those people that are saying, "Oh, Tuchel did not change the system because of Lukaku, or he did not fit the system," I don't understand what this is. Is it the case of selective, myopia? Are we forgetting so soon? All the things that he said. He said if
Hmm.
Tuchel wants him to play up front, he can play up front. If he wants him to play with the team, he can play. We saw the interview. He said he's not a complete striker, a complete striker, a complete striker that can play in any position, that is ready to do whatever Tuchel wants him to do. That's what he said. So that's basically lying on the CV. All right. If it's not actually a complete striker, that's you lying on your CV. All right. So I'm not blaming Tuchel for whatever reason. And who was his competition? He's scared of Kai Havertz being his competition. Are you kidding me?
Alexi, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? And that's why we're here to talk about this and be objective about it. Do you really think there's a chance that the club, the scout or whoever, even Marina who negotiated the fee we're paying, will complete the signing of Romelu Lukaku without Thomas Tuchel saying it will work?
Let me tell you something, because a lot of people have been throwing this around now. Oh, it came in with Thomas Tuchel's blessing. All right. What was the running narrative around Thomas Tuchel? Yeah, the running narrative was always having a bus stop with the board members. All right, that was what was at the back of his mind. Even when he left PSG, the moment he came into this club, what was the questions the journalists keep asking him? About his relationship with the board, his relationship. All right. So if they tell him this is what do you want him to pull an Antonio Conte and start mourning and start crying? It wasn't that person. It wasn't that guy. He didn't want that to be an issue. So whatever you give to him, he was ready to make it work. All right. So that's what I was saying about Thomas Tuchel being assertive. His assertiveness. He has to be clear of what he wants. Not what is being imposed on him. So that's the issue here. All right.
But I know you understand. I know you understand my question quite well.
I get it. I get it totally. All right. So he's not going to object. At least openly, he's not going to object to whatever is being presented, is being offered. As a matter of fact, he's grateful that even the club was ready to sign some players. Even though that's not what he really wants. He just didn't want to. Because he loves this club and he's looking for a permanent home. Let's not forget, Thomas Tuchel is looking for a permanent home. All right. And he saw Chelsea to be that fitting. We see how, some of the things he say about this club.
Just to bring us back so we don't drift away too much from the topic. So of the three players. Of the three players.
Listen, coach, I get what you're saying. Get back to the question. I get what you're saying. I'm not going to stay much. I just came in here, and to set some of the records straight. All right.
I'm with you.
And talk about the players that can come in. All right.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother.
As far as this guy is concerned, Lukaku is concerned. All right. He should either be facing investigation. All right. He should either be facing investigation while he will be having some kind of conversation. That's a breach of his contract. While he was still under contract, not even up to 6 months into his contract with us. All right. So was there some collusion going on in Serie A? All right. This would be what we should be talking about. Some people will say, oh, if there was collusion, maybe the board would have picked it up. What board are you talking about? Yeah, are you talking about this board that call himself a lawyer that is ready to to pin this up? Maybe the bully group.
I think.
Please let me.
I think that situation with Lukaku. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe the bully group will be looking for a scenario where they just want to let the sleeping dog lies and all of that. But our club will now become a target to be taken advantage of. All right. If we cannot do this deal, I will want Lautaro Martinez to be here. All right. But one of his main purpose is him going there to play with Martinez. All right. So I wouldn't want that to happen. Okay. If I'm being emotional about the situation, I wouldn't want that to happen. At the same time, if we cannot even get any of the players and we are able to get a good deal with Inter that is favorable to us, let him go there because he's going to bang in the goals and increase his value. All right, he's going to increase his transfer value, and then we can sell him at that high price. Okay, so we want him to play to a level where he can increase his value. That's me talking with my head. Me talking with emotions. This guy should be in our development squad. All right. And some people will say, yeah, keep on paying me his money. All right. After 5 years, it's over for him. You see that? If he thinks he's going to use our club, to drag our club to the mall, come on, man. That doesn't make sense under any circumstance. It doesn't make any sense.
I think my argument is I think we shouldn't be talking about the problem he's cost us. We should be talking like what we're looking at here. If eventually he leaves, which of these three Inter players will be the best signing for us? And you've mentioned Lautaro Martinez, and I agree with you because if you Look at the way he plays, his attributes, how good he is on the ball, and in fact that he's a creator too, and his quick thinking. I think that will make him a perfect signing for us. So, any final thoughts on that? I know you said Martinez.
I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can get Martinez and all of that. All right, fine. That's the only player I'm looking for there. All right, but I just don't want that narrative to continue to say that Thomas Tuchel did not use him according to whatever system. He said it himself that he's willing and is able, is capable of playing in any system whatsoever. He saw us at his Champions League. All right, he even made mention of all these things and how he can fit in nicely. So leave Thomas Tuchel out of this situation. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good argument. Again, we all see it differently. In my case, I'd still, apportion some blame to him. That's who I am, and you think we shouldn't. But again, that's you. Let me, LBC, let me quickly catch up with the chat because there's quite a lot there. I'm not going to try to read everything.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll catch up with as much as I can, and I think there's so much there. It's really not going to be easy, but let's see what happens. Let me try and go back to it right now and see how much I can look at. Where is it? Oh my gosh, I can't even see it. I think it's okay. Let me see. It's not loading it so fast. But while I wait for it to load, your thoughts and should we even be looking at a Skriniar? I think it's a signing that doesn't make sense for me. If you look at Inter's games, you could argue, he plays second fiddle to Bastoni in terms of when he only gets to play on that left center back position only when Bastoni isn't playing. But whenever Bastoni is available, mostly he's on the bench. And he was only on the right hand side if the other guy that usually plays on the right center back position isn't playing. So to me, he's a second fiddle player. Why should we be looking at him in the first place? I'd say if we're getting him to come and play in the Antonio Rudiger position, it just doesn't make sense. Let's just keep Levi Colwill and, keep Trevor Chalobah, who can also play in that position. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we need depth in defense because the likes of Thiago Silva playing a full season, 38 games, including Champions League, Carling Cup, and FA Cup, is very unlikely. He will run his legs, and then we will need depth. We will gather injury, and we will not want a repeat of what happened last season in terms of our defensive issues to happen again. So we need the depth. Bastoni, it's all about being.
We're talking about Skriniar.
Everyone we're gonna. Sorry, Skriniar. Sorry. Not everyone we're gonna sign will have the role as an important player or a star player. At most, if we're going to sign as more players, majority probably will come as a regular starter / squad player, meaning that there will be rotation going on. So the likes of Skriniar will be maybe a rotational player in whichever we will need. There's no doubt about that. We're going to be thin in defense. If we're talking about, if the narrative is going that Christensen's going, Azpilicueta's going, Rudiger's gone, that's 3 centre backs. So is Kounde going to be the only one to hold it down? So yeah, I'll definitely. If the option is to get, if the option the club wants to take is to get Skriniar and they can fit him in, and Tuchel's happy with that, then why not? That's another defensive option we have in a long season. That's going to be definitely, especially as the season's going to start very early due to the World Cup year being in November. So we need defense depth. We need depth. So yeah, I won't say no to Skriniar. Skriniar won't come in as a star player, important player. You'll come in as a rotational player, squad player, if that's what the option lies in front of him. Obviously, he'll want to be playing regularly. And I think that Tuchel is a player that kind of rotates a lot. Not everyone is a given to play every week. So I can see him using up to 25 different players throughout the whole season, 26 different players. So that's a possibility. And yeah, I welcome Skriniar. He's got quality. And yeah, he'll fit in well. Why not?
So you're thinking even if Lukaku leaves, you're thinking our priority should be to get in Skriniar and not even Lautaro Martinez?
Well, our priority should be working on the defense first, first and foremost, because obviously we let
We're on
Rudiger go.
it. I think we're on it, if you ask me.
I think we are on it. So with Kounde coming in, and obviously talks of Sangare, Bissouma. So the defensive options are getting fulfilled. I still think we still need to invest a little bit more in that defense in terms of not the word cover, but someone that could challenge Chilwell and Reece James respectively for those positions, in which there'll be healthy competition for that side, which will breed good quality of football. So yeah, we definitely need to invest in that defense more so. Obviously, the striker situation is only a problem because Lukaku wants to leave, and we need to get that situation sorted. So that's not hard. If Lukaku leaves and we get sales for him sorted, we're going to get another striker to replace him. But it's the defense we need to look at. We need to look at who is coming in to replace the players that we have leaving. Or Aspilicueta, he's on last legs. Alonso, I think he just scraped through with performances. I rate him, good performances, but I just think his legs scraped through. I don't think he's got the longevity to take us forward on that left wing back side. So you need to look into that type of position there. You know, they're saying Emerson is preferable. I have my thoughts about Emerson, but you know, that's somewhere we can be looking at as well. But definitely the centre back position for Skriniar to come to Stamford Bridge in a replacement for either Rudiger, Aspilicueta, or Christensen. Yeah, I'll take that. Why not?
I would. Here's the thing. I get your point, but what I'm trying to say is this: right now you can say, okay, since Kounde is most likely going to join us as soon as the transfer window opens. I think we'll complete his signing or hear the club announce him.
Issue. Hold on.
I'll hear the club announce him. But the truth remains, if we're signing Skriniar to come and play in the left centre back position, it doesn't really make sense. To me, why I say it doesn't make sense, here's a guy who plays in that position. He hardly starts on the left centre back position for Inter Milan, except he gets to start when Bastoni isn't playing. And even on the right-hand side, he doesn't get a chance to. He only gets a chance to play on the right-hand side when the guy that plays on the right-hand side isn't starting. So again, to me, we're going for a second fiddle player here. Alessia, I want to get your thoughts, but let me quickly catch up with the chat here. The Queen of Austria says, "Get the 100." Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Coach. Just to hit you on that one. You see, if he's at Inter, he's got the competition. If he comes to Chelsea, what competition does he have? If all these players that we have are going, so if he's gonna fit in, isn't he? He may be a second fiddle there, but he'll be more than a second fiddle when he comes over here if we have the likes of these players leaving. So I understand that, definitely. I mean, second fiddle, he's playing there. He's not really starting because of the left-sided centre-back and Bastoni starting ahead of him. And who's the other centre-back they have there starting for Inter? He's not getting a look in there. He will definitely get a look in over here. If Christensen's gone, if Rudiger's gone, he's going to get a look in. Do you think Malang Sarr is going to start over Skriniar? Do you think so? So I don't think that's a problem there, But yeah, I hear what you're saying. We may need to look into different options there.
Yeah. Okay. With that, I'm going to try to catch up with the chat and I'll come back to LSU on the panel. And please, we have 80 likes, so we're just 20 likes away from reaching 100 likes. Please, we're shooting for 200 likes by the end of the show. And as you're liking the video, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel to help us reach 3K subscribers as soon as possible. I've read what the Queen of Austria says. We need a CDM, just for sure. We do need a CDM, but I think the market is very difficult right now. And the fact that we didn't start talking with players on time, I think may well, complicate matters for us. But let's see what happens. I think we'll get Bastoni rocks, says the Queen. So you like Bastoni. Okay, I see that. Tribble says football, CFC Delhi, different owners. Do you think they listened, Rockets? Again, rickets, so to speak, reached the final process, they withdrew. Yeah, they withdrew themselves. Again, let's see. Why can't we do a swap deal for Brozovic? Again, swap deals are actually so complicated. It's not that simple. The one club may be asking for money, feeling that their own player is better or something like that. Would love a swap there, yeah, but it's not that simple. Like I said, again, this is just a conversation free. Max Power, okay, he's answering one of the questions we talked about. I can probably Dybala. I wonder what madness will happen tomorrow. Kounde still in London. Is he still? I'm not sure if he's still in London. I think he's on international duty. I'm not sure. Just to be honest here. Yeah, again, a swap deal is difficult because we owe into money for any player, whatever, whether you owe the club money or not. Swap deals, and that's straightforward. It's some, like I said, one of either party will feel like they have the better player and will be asking the other player money. So it's not that simple. Says Dybala is free. Yeah, thank you for confirming that. That shows how far behind I am in terms of catching up with all these comments. Again, ideal Koulibally. Okay, Skriniar, Koulibally, ideal signings. Okay, if that happens, I'll take it. But I wouldn't say Skriniar. It would be a perfect replacement for Antonio Rudiger, given that he plays a second fielder in that role in particular at Inter Milan. He plays second fielder to Bastoni, but we'll see what happens. Dybala is free agent, but I must agree also there's a chance he comes to Chelsea and becomes the best in the whole world. You don't know. I have to agree to that. Came back to fight. Okay, Kounde is Austria. Kounde is in Austria with his team. Yep, I thought as much that he'd be an international due to slightly slow today. I can see that, but may have done all his beats at the bridge. Yep. Who knows? Yep. Again, don't we see any transfers until after the weekend when this round of internationals have been completed? We've argued that before. We're just looking at things. We cannot say for certain who Chelsea are going to sign or whom they've signed. Again, it's not that simple. It's not possible now until the window opens. And again, with that, I want to say we have 85 likes, so we're just 15 more likes away to get to 100 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 200 likes by the end of the show. And again, you guys are absolute legend. Thank you for 85 likes and thank you for 2,710 subscribers. We're not far away from reaching our target this week, which is to get to 3,000 subscribers. I know we can do that. So if you haven't, do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Says, I have to admit, was strange he was in London with all the speculations. I think it is for a reason. He could be house hunting, or just maybe he want to come feel, because he knows we love him. Maybe to come just, to feel the love a bit. You could argue maybe to meet with Thomas Tuchel or the club. You don't know. For whatever reason, we don't know. But again, it was weird to want a war for places. Yep. Again, some that would be good for the team. Some will crumble, but some will flourish. That's what it is. When there's competition, only one emerges as the winner. As one of the highlights, you think Sangare will come to Chelsea? I've heard people say Thomas Tuchel loves him. There are other clubs that are also interested in securing his signature. So it all comes down to his choice. If there are no shortage of suitors, then it all comes down to what club he wants to join. But if our competitor there will be Manchester United, I think he'd come to us, given that we have Champions League football and Manchester United doesn't. If Arsenal are interested, they don't have that too. It is just us. But if Liverpool comes for him, then we have a serious, competition in terms of who gets to secure his signature. But we'll see what happens. Again, Ayoku, so to speak, I promise to say, come on, you Blues. Yes, come on, you Blues. And I know this is your first time here, Ayoku. Please be sure to subscribe and also do like the video. Here we have, it says for Chelsea fans, this is your home, just Chelsea. Yep, this is the home for all Chelsea fans. Feel at home, express yourself. Although I'm only the only person here, but I try the best I can because we don't have a studio engineer yet to catch up with everything in the chat. Just like the Queen says, just feel at home. We will get a studio engineer soon, and it will be easier to catch up with every chat, and I'm working to find a way so that everything you have in the chat will be showing on one side of the screen. Hopefully, I'll be able to achieve that. Kachila, do you think Lautaro would love to come to Chelsea? Looking at Lukaku's situation, he understands. I think he's not stupid. He's smart enough to know why Lukaku hasn't worked at Chelsea. He's smart enough to know that his case will be different. Again, to these players, again, that's why I don't call players names of what, trying to make more money. As much as it is football is business for the owners of the club, it is business for the players, because that's what they do for a living. So my point is, show Martinez the money, he comes. It's that simple. And he understands that his case will be simple. And when managers do speak with players they want to sign, it does make a huge difference. But I'm sure Lukaku would want him to stay at Inter Milan if he's going to Inter Milan, because some people would argue that we know Lukaku, the Lukaku we saw before we went for him, that we know Lukaku without Hakimi, that we know Lukaku without Lautaro Martinez. You could argue that. And without Martinez at Inter Milan and Hakimi, it remains to be seen how well Lukaku would do there. So maybe that's why Inter Milan are reluctant to agree on a loan deal that will include an obligation to buy. They're not stupid. And I don't think Chelsea understands. They're not stupid also to understand that Inter may well take Lukaku, and then at the end of the season still say they don't want him. All they want is the 70 million because they want money. They're broke practically, if you want to phrase it that way. But that's, by the way, depending on who Tutti wants, he has the loudest voice, similarly, and that's good. It's a good thing, and that's the way it should always be. We shouldn't even, be talking about it like, it's something new. Managers are the ones that usually tell the clubs, these are the players I want, and then the club would, so I'm not sure why it's like we're trying to host a party, given what's been said about that. Again, I didn't know we lost to you, LBC, but I'll come back to the panel in a bit. Blue Morning people says in life, no limits, nice to see you. So I'm going to skip the comments quite quickly now to get to the bottom. Again, if I miss any of your comments, apologies. I can't read them all. If I try to read them all, we'll be stuck there until the end of the show, and we're not going anywhere. What are you saying, man? If they are, then we sure are. Okay, Ayodele, my Niger brother, can you explain what you're trying to say there? I'm trying to understand. Bastoni's agent has said he isn't leaving this summer. Yep, I've heard that too. Martinez would not leave because he wants to stay. It's not about him wanting to stay. The club needs to balance the books or they're in serious trouble. Lukaku wanted to stay too, but they needed money, and there are other factors too. He wanted more money too from them. So it's actually not that simple, but let me try and do, like I said, I'm going to try to catch up. Emma Hayes got the American dream. She's coming back. Again, let me just quickly catch up here, and I think I will do that. Hey, Suleiman, nice to see you here, bro. And again, Eve Perry said, yeah, it's the first signing for Chelsea Football Club this season. Emma's new killer. Can you tell us more about him? A goal scorer? So Roman wanted Lukaku, not Marina. Yep, nobody said Marina wanted her. Marina just negotiated. Again, I know people blame her for that. Where did Lukaku say he was a complete striker? I don't know. I didn't say that. You asked whoever said that. I don't know. Again, facts, LSC, one of boss. Yep, people saying LSC is spitting facts here. Anything more than £55 is too much for us. Okay, 55 million, not 55, not merely 55 pounds. Okay, I get it now. Okay, I'm going to skip everybody's comment, go to the very bottom. If I miss your comment, I will catch up with you again. My apologies. Oh my gosh, it's quite a ton of them. But again, I want to take a chance to say big up to the Queen of the House, Just Viola, nice to see you here. Big up to Michael Lee, we've said hello. Then I'm going to go to the bottom, and from there, whatever you put in, I'm going to try to read. Now, coming back to the panel, let's start with you. LG, I haven't asked you this question regarding the fact that we're being linked to Skriniar. I get LB's argument that he again, there's a chance he does well at Chelsea, but would you, do you like us to really go for him, given that if we're going for him to come and fulfill the Antonio Rudiger role for us, he plays second fiddle to Bastoni in that role. And he only gets to play on the right-hand side whenever the guy that starts for them there isn't playing. Your thoughts?
If it's a must that we must get a player from them, all right? I already made my choice in Lautaro Martinez. But just for the sake of argument for Skriniar, I don't think he should be the one. If we are looking for a player in that position, so Bastoni clearly will be the
first choice.
favorite. Yeah, that would be my favorite for that position. Honestly, I don't think. From the way things are going, if we don't go to the root of the issue of what led Lukaku to make this decision, I don't even think it's a good idea getting any players from them moving forward. All right, we have to first of all clear this issue first before thinking of whether we're able to deal with them in the future. So, but if we must get a player from them in that position, it will be clearly Bastoni. See, for Tuchel, yeah, if he wants to continue with the 3-4-3 system with the three at the back, all right, I know how a lot of fans, majority of the fan base, they want him to change, as if playing four at the back is a guarantee. There are a lot of clubs that have been relegated from this league, yeah, that play four at the back, all right. So four at the back is not a guarantee of success, all right. So this idea,
excuse me.
I guarantee you, right, the day, if Thomas Tuchel come out today and announce that he's going to switch to four at the back, it's going to be as if we won the Champions League. The fan base, they are going to be so happy because it's like this is the shadow hanging over his head. Oh, we must go back, we must go to four at the back, as if it's a guarantee of success. He saw the players that he had, all right? He saw those players and they were clearly not suitable enough. He said it on his way here. This decision was when he was still on the plane that he was thinking of how to change before the Wolves game. All right, his very first game. So he clearly knows what he's talking about. All right, so let him do his job. So the system is not what is making the players not to score goals. All right. So if we are sticking with this three at the back system, Tuchel's priority will be the wing backs. That's what he's going to be after. I guarantee you. He wants a wing back, just as good or better than Reece James. He wants another one that is just as good and better than Chilwell. That's going to be his priority. All right. If I'm to make a choice for anyone that will compete with Chilwell, we can't get Cucurella. I don't know. I think it's almost going to City. The other alternatives we had, it's not coming forth. So I don't know. Robbie Gosens, yeah, Atalanta, I think he has 1 year left on his contract. We can go for him, because he likes to win the ball off the pitch, all right, and then press the opposition from there. That's how Tuchel like to play, all right. He's very, very aggressively tackle, win the possession, and then creates opportunity for for us to go for a counter attack, So I think it would be a perfect fit if we can get him to compete with Chilwell. He might even put Chilwell on the bench, because nobody even knows what the damage that injury has done to Chilwell. I'm happy with the fact that we went through the natural route instead of going for operation. So that when I think about the situation, it gives me some kind of optimism. But we don't know yet how he's going to respond to this. I don't know. Is it part of this or the England team? I think there's going to be a Nations League or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I just hope that he's able to recover well for the next season, so that we don't get into more issues.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go. Thank you very much, LSU, for that input. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat again as usual because this is an interactive show. That's why we do that. The fans bring us updates. And again, we have 91 likes. We need 9 more likes to get to 100. It looks like we're really going to get to 200 likes by the end of the show. So if you haven't, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I think we've gained like 10 subscribers this morning, but we can do better than that. Keep liking the video to help us reach more people, to gain more subscribers. Kate Monday says the Ligt has extended his contract with Juventus till 2027. Can somebody confirm whether that is true or not? I'm going to find out. If that's the case, then I think we may well start on time looking elsewhere, because it compounds the possibility of us signing signing him from Juventus. But it remains to be seen. So please just check if that's really the case and help us confirm the news. I'd appreciate that. Says Tuchel, the wing-back merchandise, I think you could call him that. Denzel Dumfries is also in the Lukaku deal if we want him. Wow, everybody is included in the deal. I think the club's priority should be, if Lukaku is really leaving, why not prioritize Lautaro Martinez? Because I'd argue they want to sell him. Just 1 second here. My screen is frozen. Okay, I read that, LSD. No problem, brother. Let me see. What else do I have to read here? Where do I stop? Okay, Sylvia says Chilwell has, as it's known, is wicked. He's such a fine player, but we need a serious competition for him. So if he gets injured, we'd still be fine. Who has been Chelsea's first signing? Perisic, for the women's team. I think he's Chelsea's first signing. Again, here's something I want to bring back just to know how all these things we see in the media are all speculations, and why you shouldn't believe anything until you see the player holding a Chelsea shirt and there's a statement on the club's website saying, we're pleased to announce the signing of his, will be at the club until so and so. All the nonsense that we signed Slazai, or how you pronounce his name, I don't know, the player we talked about, everybody were busy watching his highlights, saying how good it is. Yeah, we already signed him. He's just going to come and join us. It turns out it was absolute bull doo-doo. Where's the Slazai? We probably haven't even talked with his agent. So that's a lesson for us to learn not to believe all the nonsense we see in the media until we see the player holding the blue shirt and then taking the picture with Marina, or we see him putting pen to paper, then it's done. That's one thing we should learn. Again, says Real Madrid, City, Liverpool, PSG, Ajax, and Bayern, Porto, Inter success with back four. Again, I'm not going to go into the argument of system thing. I think people has systems that work for them. Others, if it works for one, it doesn't work for the others. But then again, I'm not going to go into the argument of the system again. I have my, points on that, but that's Zinchenko. That's something I wouldn't want to talk about. Zinchenko, maybe if Cucurella goes to City, I don't really like him. I don't really like Zinchenko. He's a good player, but you could argue we're complaining of our inability to be able to progress the ball when opponents press us aggressively. How Zinchenko stayed at Man City till now, because if you press him well, he only likes to go backwards, sideways, but he can put in some good crosses. And the good thing is that he's good, facilitating 1-2s. He is good at exploiting spaces, but I don't think he's that player that's capable of dribbling past his defenders very often. He does it less. Yeah, but he's a good passer of the ball. You could argue that. So I don't think he's a Chelsea, we would do well at Chelsea. No, I don't think so. Get Malaria better than Gosen. Who? I'm not sure about that name. But yeah, okay, yeah. And we won the Champions League with 3 at the back. So there's another argument for that if you want to see it from that perspective. Who's the better defender, Bastoni or Skriniar? That's a question I'm going to try to answer in a smart way. And my response to you is, I am really not sure. Honestly, and the truth is, Bastoni isn't my first choice. My first choice really is Cucurella. You get that for that position because he can also play as in the left wing back position and also play in the left centre back position. To me, other than that, I'd say let's give Levi Colwill a chance. I think he can do a good enough job there. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll ask the people in the chat for you to help me get an answer. So what? Yep. Again, exactly. Don't care about other teams, just us. That's the truth. Again, this club is in a mess. No, we're not in a mess. We just survived the mess. Now we're getting back on our feet, and I think the club are probably really, really busy behind the scenes, but we don't know. That is just the truth. You must know that. Jules Kounde has been signed already. That's the chance it has happened. We don't know. How so many? Why was in London? Yeah, what was he doing in London? If you can answer that, then maybe I change my mind. I think otherwise. When will Chelsea fans realize that looking at attackers will not matter unless we get a DM this window? Look, the club, you said about what the Chelsea fans think. Actually, we've heard that the club are looking at Bissouma and Sangare. So we wanted Tchouameni. Unfortunately for us, he's gone to Real Madrid. So the two options that's been talked about is Bissouma and Sangare. And I think the club, if you ask me, you'd say they're serious about the two players, and they're going to come for cheap. And there's a chance they do a better job for us. I don't think the club are serious about Declan Rice at this point because of his price tag. Will West Ham sell him for less? That's a chance. But the less that West Ham would want to sell him for, I don't think it's something Chelsea would want to pay for. Chelsea, if he really wants to come to Chelsea, like everybody have said he wants to, then we shouldn't be in a rush to go for him. When it's time he leaves on a free and join us, or when he has a year left on his contract, he joins us for less. But that's by the way. But leaves with a hope. Yep. Let's see. But he's brilliant. I like him. I like the player. What would Chelsea fans realize? I've read that before, so why am I going through it again? Of Chelsea again. Let me see here. It says I am shocked our wingers are not good at wingbacks. It is almost similar to playing as I know that's a difference. That's a difference. Again, this is when you switch play in a different position that you've always played in, or maybe your preferred position. You remember muscle memory, even the positioning also. A lot changes, and the slightest of change in terms of how a player that is where he's usually positioned on the pitch is enough, to cause some, measure of, cut off from the player's performance, if you want to phrase it like that. So it's actually not that simple. That's why you see them struggling to participate in the play. That's why you see them struggling, to track back and help defense. Yes, you could argue the primary responsibility of our wingers is to attack, but you see them when you have the traditional wingers there, they're able to track back. They're also able to defend well. But when you play the wingers, the right wing, left wing guys in the wing back positions, they struggle to track back properly. They struggle to, to put the tackle in sometimes, except for Ziyech, who's played that before and has done quite well. I don't think that he did actually stand in that position. So I hope that answers, addresses your question. Gosens is at Inter Milan. He was on loan from Atalanta. Inter are exercising their option to buy. So stop talking about Gosens. Yep. Again, how old is he right now, actually? But I don't think that also, again, it makes sense. I don't think they'd buy him and would want to sell him immediately. So just look beyond him. Chile and Reese are before Ouches scored loads. Yep, that's the truth. Let's see. Facts. Let's see. The talks was, we were in talks with Slazai, not bought. A lot of people say, no, go check it. A lot of people in the Chelsea community said, we already completed his signing. That what's left is just for him to join us. So that's why I'm saying the lesson that to learn, don't believe in whatever you see until the player hurts the shirts. You see him putting pen to paper and all that, and the club announces the player. Again, go check it. I'm not lying. Big up Kachila. I don't trust Marina. She needs to do her last business for us. Good. Again, why wouldn't you trust her? Marina isn't the one that points to the players we sign. She's the only, but that's the only thing she does is negotiate the price. That's just that. Negotiate player salaries, negotiate the purchase of players. She doesn't scout for us. I think, but more, I understand people's frustration. They blame him for how much we paid for Lukaku and all that. So I'm going to skip a few comments here also to catch up again. It's only me, so apologies if I miss anything serious you have in the chat there. I'm only human, please. We need skillful players. Yeah, I agree. We need skillful players. Kachila, I will unsubscribe for this channel because of some disgusting, weak-minded mods, cowards. Again, don't call people cowards. Just let me know what's going on. You can DM me on Twitter so we can talk about it. So calm down, okay? Who is going to replace Lukaku? We don't know. We'll see what happens. I never say Slazai signed. I didn't say you say he's signed. It wasn't just you. A lot of people in the community were saying we've already signed him. I never said you said that, okay? Marina is patient, and that's what I like to her. Yeah, tell that to some people, and they will shoot you in the leg because they said she's the cause of our problem. She's not. She's the one, that's helped us do some good business. It's her job to negotiate. It is not her job, to point to the players that the club signs. Again, that's, by the way, I'm going to come back to the panel immediately. I put him on another timeout. Again, yeah, if he's done something wrong, yeah, you should put him on a timeout. But I can't see. I didn't see everything. I skipped a few of the comments, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But if you saw it, if it deserved to be put on the timeout, you go ahead and do that. I don't know why I say, okay, bye. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure. I can't say that. Okay. Don't listen to the community. Yeah, we shouldn't. Do you guys think the Neymar deal can really happen? It will never happen. We've talked about that here. It is something that we've talked about, that we said, it will never happen. Again, we have 99 likes. And if you haven't, please do like the video to help us reach 100 likes. And again, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So I'm coming back to the panel. I'm going to ask you this, LSE, any updates for us on what players we're really looking at?
I don't really think there's any concrete update, Sorry, my break will soon be over, so I was just running some issues.
No problem, no problem.
I will just speak for a while and then, continue with my work, yeah? So, in terms of players, I don't think there's anything concrete right now. It's still all based on speculations. The only people I see moving mad in the window will be the women's team. So as far as I'm concerned, the men's team, there are a lot of structural changes still happening at the board level, and not until I see their websites, the club management is being updated, I'm not going to have any faith in having any player. And as for the days that have been confirmed in some circles on the internet, like Dembele, I would say do not expect anything until the end of the month, because that's when almost all the contracts expires. So that will be for that. So in terms of serious speculations, I don't even think that what we need right now is being even talked about. We need a goalkeeper, not a backup goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that will put Mendy on the spot, because he's losing his edge. He's losing his edge, so, and then a strong defense. So we need to maintain our reputation of being difficult to score against, all right? And then we can take care up front, irrespective of what the system might be. So if Tuchel is fully in charge, I guarantee you he's going to be looking for wing backs. That's all he cares about in these systems. And then maybe move one or two, but at least one is leaving by default. So what is the situation with Timo Werner? Are there any news, any links of him leaving the club?
There's nothing, you can say there's nothing too serious at this point. The rumors are that he will be leaving for Bayern Munich. I'm not sure. There's no way to tell. I think again, we all see them all as speculations. Until it happens, you cannot be sure.
So
And quickly, I want to say, go ahead.
that means a player like Callum, will be moving on. That will be Callum and Lukaku from the way I'm saying things. So if we bring in two attackers, whether that be a forward and a winger, that can play up front, two has to go. But personally, I don't think that should be the case because we need depth. We saw what happened last season, injury, COVID. We don't know whatever tragedy they are going to bring upon the world. We don't know whatever it is, all right? So we should be prepared, all right? Last season should be a lesson that irrespective of what happens to the squad, okay, the efficiency on the pitch remains the same, all right? Result on the pitch remains the same. Okay, that's what I'm more focused on. I'm more focused on getting a strong squad, all right? But this situation of even bringing in, integrating our academy, because I think a lot of the players that we are being linked with right now, some of the problems I'm seeing is that they want their eyes elsewhere. Their eyes are elsewhere, all right? Some of them want Barcelona. Some of them, for example, even De Ligt. De Ligt wants to go to Man City. We saw the comment he came out with recently about not being a top four contender. Like he doesn't want to be a top four conversation. He wants to be winning the Serie A. All right. So, and then he said he wants Man City. All right. That's his choice because he's seen them win 4 titles in 5 seasons. All right. So, what is the way forward in this situation? Right now, we have to go with money. Even though, maybe because of the sanctions and the things that happen to our club, that's probably affecting our brand, to a certain extent, so maybe it's going to take 1 or 2 seasons of us winning something again that will keep us becoming, that attractive big club. Because a lot of clubs they are looking ahead, they are looking elsewhere. Look at Lewandowski, he wants Barcelona. All right. Bastoni and all these players, they want elsewhere. De Ligt want Man City. He is going. He want even the what's his name? Koulibaly. Koulibaly want Barcelona. Can you imagine that? My eyes were so fixed on him. Being covering up for Rudiger. Taking on that position. But the moment I heard, I don't know if it's from him personally, but the moment I heard that if he would prefer Barcelona, even considering their financial situation, come on, man, I lost all interest. So if we sign him, I'm not going to have that kind of affinity towards him anymore because we are not his first choice. You see what I'm saying? So what is the way forward? Is it getting all the first team players that we need, yeah, in the academy? Like go out there and start buying academy boys, young boys from different academy that we know that can play on Tuchel's system and integrate them in our first team. Maybe that would be the way. Buy the superstars when they are young. That seems to be the way. But with the kind of politics going on in the fan base, we are not hearing issues like even an academic player saying that they are not ready to be a bench. They are not ready to be on the bench. They are not ready to be a part-time player. When they should be happy. During the days of Terry, when Ryan Bertrand was the only academic player that was integrated, all right? Some of these players then will even be, thanking their stars that they can even be on Chelsea's bench. But now, how are the mighty falling? Now, even the young ones that have not even played first team football on the higher level, all of them are not claiming that, they don't want to be part-time players. We have to ask ourselves, what led to this trend? What led to it? That's what my concern would be. Consolidate the academy, all right, and then use it as a viable pipeline for getting our first team footballers. That would be the way going forward, instead of relying on players here and there that have their hearts, set elsewhere and then come into this club, use as a means to rake in money, a lot of money, and then move to their favorite club. As a
Yeah.
fan base, I don't think is healthy going forward.
Yeah, thank you very much for that great input. With that, I'm going to try and catch up with the chat. And at this point, if you have any concerns you'd like us to address or questions, shoot, we're going to let the chat drive the conversations from now on. Again, let me try and read this one on the screen. It says, I am talking about when the wing backs attack, there are more of wingers than defenders. So I believe they should be comfortable when going forward. So that begs the question: why are we even looking? Why should we even have wingers in our team? Traditional wingers, we shouldn't. If that's the case, because when you try to play them as wing backs, they feel like you're playing them out of position, which is what it is really. LBZ, your thoughts? Okay, looks like LBZ isn't with us right now.
Hello,
But
hello, hello.
yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
go
what
ahead.
was
Can you
the
hear me?
question? Sorry, I do apologize.
Yeah, the question is, it's not really a question. Given what we have on the screen here, where Fairboy is saying that he's talking about when the wing backs attack, they're more like wingers than defenders. And you could argue that's the reason why Thomas Tuchel has deployed traditional wingers, in the wing back position. And you could argue, yeah, it's simple. He's playing them out of position, and also they don't look like they were happy that the times they've been playing there. And that's the reason why also we have wingers. We don't have plenty of number eights. We see wingers playing in the number 8 position. So should we even be looking to bring in wingers into the club?
We need depth. Like I said it the first time, we need depth. So having 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 wingers at the depth that we need. We were lacking. We were lacking last
Mm-hmm.
season, in which we had to start making players like Mason Mount play out wide, makeshift. It was really, really torrid. Even Ruben Loftus-Cheek had to go up wing backs as well. So yeah, we do need to invest in what we can. The defense needs the wing back position needs key looking into, as well as the wingers. If you're talking about Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech going into the going into the next year, uh, if you're saying that, okay, if we haven't confirmed with Usman yet, but if you're saying that
Mm-hmm.
Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi is the forefront of
Mm-hmm.
bridging the gap between Man City and Liverpool, we are being deluded. We need to invest heavily. You know what I'm trying to say? So yes, having the likes of Ousmane Dembele coming in is good. So that adds to the wingers. Maybe if we offload one more attacker, maybe in Ziyech or Pulisic, I wouldn't say Pulisic, but if we offload Ziyech, I don't see that happening. Maybe we could bring in someone better to replace him, maybe someone more direct. Now, um, in the wing back positions, that needs heavy looking into. I still have a look. I have to look into my just like short list of players that I may feel want to come into Chelsea in that position. Kukurea is not going to be an option because he may be looking to go to City if that deal's not already done. Um, Maybe Max Aarons might be a suitable option. He's just been relegated with Norwich. He could be, those type of players could be coming in as well. So it's a big option to explore. But yeah, definitely wingers and wing backs, what we need to be looking into.
Yeah, again, but I have my concerns about us because we haven't used the wingers the way they should they should be
Because they've
used,
been
and that.
inverted. All the wingers we have are not direct; they're inverted. So you got Werner coming in from the left, cutting in inside. You got Pulisic doing the same thing. You got Ziyech on the right, cutting inverted. So we need maybe if we have more direct. I've just seen the tweet now. According to Matt Law, we are interested. As of 30 minutes ago, we are interested in Sterling, another direct player. He can play directly on the right, and he can cut in from the left. So maybe having that approach, because Callum's not doing it really, is he? He's been injured. He's been a bit part. Callum could play that direct role, but again, we may need depth on that side. Again, Usman's coming in. So that looks more than likely. So we'll be okay. But we should definitely look at investing in the wingers and the wing backs. those two focal points allow us to draw width from the wide positions into the box, into play. We can't do it centrally. We can't play in the middle of the park. We have to go wide. So we need to invest in wide men, wingers and wing backs.
If we're going to do that, he has to change the system to accommodate them properly. Because, True Blue says here, fair boy, the wingers have been playing as number 10s behind the number 9s and number 8s, depending on the application. And again, they don't like it if you see that. And again, that doesn't help bring the best out of them. So why are we going to go for more wingers if it's really not going to change the system? That's a discussion for another day. Let me try and catch up with the chat. Let's see if there's anything to address here, because from now on we're going to let the chat drive the conversation. Let me see what Liam says here. I don't know why my screen is freezing again. Let me see. He says, a big up to everyone in the chat and all the mods. I had a busy morning, so just settling down now to see what's happening. Yeah, even at that, you were the first to arrive today, Liam. How are you doing? I hope you're well. We need a Premier League proven striker. Again, that's one argument that never works. Like who? Let's see, if you're talking about Kane, are you going to ever be able to get Kane? No, the option should be looking at, if you're talking about a traditional striker, you just want to take us back to the same issue we're having right now with Lukaku, because Tuchel doesn't like to play with traditional number 9. If he proves me wrong, I take it. Now, who are you going to, Oli Watkins, or who again do you have that you go with, you think will work, fitting well in our team? I don't see too many of them in the Premier League. Again, let's keep it respectful. Yep, that's just the truth. Keep it respectful, and let's all have fun in the chat. Come on. Again, I think I think it's CFC. Okay, you have unsubscribed. Okay, thank you for letting me know. But the truth is, you must watch the language you use. If you get timed out the first time, watch the language you use. Just stop using it. It's that simple. You can't threaten with unsubscribing to the channel. It doesn't help your case either. Again, it says, how many players have we bought this morning? Yeah, quite. We're talking about quite a lot. Not like some. It's more. And then again, he says, I have unsubscribed and we'll watch for free. Yeah, sure. It has always been for free. Keep timing people out. Again, listen. You have to watch the language you use. That's just the issue. And threatening that you've unsubscribed, it's nothing. It doesn't move anybody. Again, they're trying to keep the chat clean. The mods are trying to keep the chat respectful. It's nothing against you, but if that's what you want to do, again, if it makes you happy, good luck. Again, let me see what else do I have here. Mostly types. Let me see. Please, my advice to TT is to play players for their in their right positions. Then Marina's slow move in the transfer negotiations cost us. You can't please stop blaming Marina for everything that goes wrong at Chelsea Football Club. Do you want to blame him for us losing against Liverpool too, Ousmane? You have the right to express yourself, but let's be careful what we say. I don't think that's okay. LSC talking facts. Imagine the energy it takes to have when love is free. That is the truth. I think the Queen of all streams is being philosophical again. Highly, thank you again. Anything else to address it? If you have any question, shoot, and we will try to address it. Liam, are you okay? That's hilarious. Took me ages to learn the mostly kicks ass basis again. I can't even read that. When Leah, good. Thank you again. Let me see what else. Is there anything to address here? No tobacco. Come on, people, slow down a bit. Okay, let me see what else I have to do here. Ain't all Irishmen big in their own mind? Again, you have an Irish girl there who'd like to have that conversation with you. Again, I just met too many. Okay, they're having a conversation too. I don't think there's anything else. If you have any question, please shoot and we will try to address it. A shout out says a shout out here from Zimbabwe up to Blues. Yes, Rafael Mhamdu, nice to see you here. I hope I pronounced I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Yes, it seems oddly weird, dude. Again, just feeling. I says, just stop this fighting and enjoy the show. It's that simple. Stop the fight and enjoy the show. Keep it clean. Watch the language you use. Nobody hates you here. Don't diss our club, please. Again, is Sangare coming to Chelsea this summer? There's no way to tell. Again, what we said a billion times here is, don't believe everything you read in the media until you see the player holding the shirt of the club, until you see him putting pen to paper, taking the picture, and until the club puts out a statement, then you know that we've signed that player. Coming back to the panel, LBZ, any other updates from us for us here? It looks like he's
none
any update from any player?
No, none at the moment. I've been looking. The last one I've just seen was just a Matt Law tweet that we were interested in Sterling. Again, I don't think anything will materialize till next week, apart from those that we've been heavily linked to. Nothing new. Well, we are considering, apart from a consideration of a 43 million bid for Gabriel Jesus. That's about it, really. And we are weighing up. So, according to the Telegraph, we're weighing up a bid for Man City forward Raheem Sterling. So that seems to be having legs. This is the second source I'm looking at with that report. So that may have legs. So in terms of new signings, that could be both Jesus and Sterling could be both at Stamford Bridge if those reports are looking to be true. We'll see what happens, though. I won't hold my breath. This is all speculation. I never listen to speculation. I just but obviously I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess, But yeah, as it looks like, it just looks like it's a Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. It's looking like the reports.
Yeah, I think the story of Sterling, I think, like I said before, it may have been his agent who's engineering, that story to help him get a better deal, because I don't think Man City will let him go that easy. Again, it remains to be seen his salary, his wage demands, if we'll be able to accommodate him. I don't think so. Again, no, I didn't bring anybody back. I think if you time the person out, once the timeout streams, they come back automatically. And I think we should give him a chance, if you agree with me. You also say disgusting fan base, and you referred to Street Beer. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Street Beer has every right to be mad at you, and that's why you have to just mind the language you use, or else next thing is going to be banning you entirely out of the channel, and I'm sure you don't want that to happen. So be careful the language you use. The next level of punishment will be not punishment. Thing we do is to ban you completely from and I'm sure you don't want that, please. So be careful. Again, let me see. I don't think there's anything else to talk about here. If you're in the chat, let us know if you have any question. I'm waiting on you. If not, we'll call it a day for today. And then I think because I want to have another show later today, we'll see how that goes. And not going to continue this chat. Again, the next thing will be a ban. Don't piss off my mods. They've been doing a good job here. Again, tip slow moving by again. Stop blaming Marina, please. That's not okay. Again, wasn't a time that banned him. Okay, I didn't return him. I didn't do anything. Maybe because I clicked. Maybe because I clicked on his message. That may have been the case. I don't know, but we'll see. Stop dragging it on. I don't think. Let me see. All right. Dude don't care, but I shoot the mouse and me as tasty as that. Again, I don't like that kind of behavior here. Not home yet. Again, I think we've come with that. You could say we've come to the end of the show. And again, if you haven't, please, you still have time to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And finally, I want to talk about the poll. I'm going to end it now. I think 43%. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. 43% wants 43% wants Lautaro Martinez, 30% wants Bastoni, and 27% wants Skriniar. I think Lautaro Martinez will be a good option for us in terms of joining us as an attacker because he's flexible. I think he's you could say a hybrid striker, which I think will work well. Yeah, that's a threat. Yeah. Sorry, Lautaro Martinez will work well for Thomas Tuchel. And again, who's next? He says, who's our next? This is really slow here. Who's our next captain if Aspi leaves? That's another argument for another day. I'd give it to Thiago Silva. Kuchila, see, that's a threat. Yep. And I think if you're saying a threat from me or a threat from the person in the chat, I think he doesn't care. And he already told me he's unsubscribed, and I let him continue watching. He's going to be watching for free. Yes, he has every right. It's always free, even when whether you're subscribed or not. And I don't see any remorse. I think he was the person using the language, black players yesterday and all that. So, again, it doesn't look like he's learned any lessons. So the best thing would be to block him. In a few days, I won't block him. But if he continues with the behavior, I will just block him finally. Would you sign I don't know the player that was. I wouldn't want to talk about him. Mount or Reese, Mount. I think those guys, I think it doesn't make sense to give it to them while we still have Thiago Silva at the club. So the best thing would be to give it to Thiago Silva. And again, if Jorginho remains, who's the vice captain, it only makes sense to give it to him as long as he's there, except if he's not playing, who takes it? Again, and that it's another argument for another day. A great stream. We keep going. Yes, we keep growing. What time letter, coach? It will be, I think it will be 9 p.m. UK. That's what I'm trying to schedule that one for the day. It says it's a shame the show has to end. Yeah, it has to end now because we don't have much to talk about now. If you have any question, shoot it. We'll try to go. Or any other update. Again, if we try to force it, it will just be going without... my screen again froze. We'll just be going without anything. Coachella, you end... Okay, do you have anything else you want us to talk about? Raise it. We'll keep talking about it. I know we're having fun. But today it doesn't seem like nothing else is clicking. Nothing's too serious to talk about here. We've talked about Raheem Sterling. Love you all, Kick Button. Please keep safe. Thank you for the company. Chat to you brilliant. Again, let me know if you have any other question. If you have question, we'll try and address it. Yes, it's a shame, really, Lee. But again, if we try to talk more about this issue, we'll just be forcing it, and it will be really boring. What? Yes, we're ending it. And remember, the plan was after the sale of the club, the show is going to be shortened to 1 hour. But because we've become used to it, and again, the conversation flows seamlessly, we continue. But right now, does it sound like it's flowing to you? Let me know. I'm talking about our previous set. I remember the day I say you're threatening me. I know. Again, Terry was 19 when he took the captain. But I'm not really talking about the age. But usually you consider experience because it's something you're given the captainship to somebody who can lead. And I think, yeah, Mount can lead, but James can lead also. But if you give the captainship to Thiago Silva, whom we know, given his pedigree, given everything he's won literally everything that's to win in club football. I think the only thing that's left for him to win is the World Cup. So again, when he speaks, the dressing room listens. So that's why it will only make sense to give the captaincy to Thiago Silva because he's experienced. The players all respect him when he speaks. They listen. So it wouldn't make sense to give it to James or Mount when he's still there. Again, that's my argument. Maybe let me do a poll and LBC, let me know how you list. Like the people still wants us to be going. So if you want to leave at any time, you feel free, brother. Again, let me see. Let's talk about the captainship.
I'll catch you in a bit, my bro.
All right, thank you, bro. Talk to you later. Yeah. Blue is the caller. How do you do? How do you do, my own brother? Crazy boy, nice to join. And again, I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have shown this channel. Again, I sincerely do appreciate that. That means the world to me. Says not home yet, ended already. Okay, I'll wait a bit. Let me try and see what if people have questions for me. Crazy boy, not bad. Come on, more early. I think Street Beer really wants us to end it, but a lot of people want us to continue. Let's see how far we can go. If anything comes up, we'll talk about it. Thiago Silva cannot play all the games. Then when he's not playing, someone else, the vice captain, takes over. But I'm still asking, wouldn't it be fair, if Cesar Azpilicueta leaves, for the vice captain to become the captain, which is Jorginho? But I don't know what you guys think. You let me know what you think. Ray Watkins, 18, when he captain. The age isn't, but again, how it depends on how you see the captain. I think I'd rather give the captainship to a player who's capable of leading the team, a player who's when he speaks, the dressing room will listen, and that player, in the absence of Cesar Azpilicueta, will be, for me, from the things I've seen, from how well the younger players respect him, given his pedigree, will be Thiago Silva. And it's as simple as that. Again, let me see if there's anything else to read here. If not, I think we should just call it a day because it's really not flowing. There isn't much to talk about. But if I see questions, I will try to address them as much as I can. And my computer isn't helping matters either. It is frozen, and I just don't know why. But let's see if it works again. I can't even see the comments on the screen. My camera is frozen. Everything is frozen. But I know you guys can still hear me. Maybe it will fix itself in a bit. Let's see. I'm trying to read more stuff here. It is really not helping me. So again, in terms of the captainship, I'd say I give it to Thiago Silva. And if it happens that if it happens that Jorginho is still there, I'd say let him take it because he's the vice captain. I think it will be disrespectful if Cesar Azpilicueta leaves and Jorginho is still there and you go ahead and give the captainship to a younger player. The age doesn't really matter. Or let me just say to another player. I think that's the better way, to phrase it. I'm trying to log in from my iPad because my screen is currently frozen and I'm not sure why it doesn't help me in any way. We need a Fabregas, a clone. Yeah, that's another brilliant way to put it. But again, there may never be another Fabregas. He's not the most physical. He's not the quickest. But in terms of, reading the game, his mind, he's the quickest on the pitch to make that run. And Cesc Fabregas will be the first one to see you, and he will most definitely find you with a pinpoint pass. I miss him really. I discuss a stadium. I would love to discuss the stadium if I had those with me on the panel, those that understand the situation very well, or what is possible and what's not possible. I don't know much. All I know, I think they've agreed to build the stadium. The question remains whether what's his name, Todd Boehly, will be looking for a different design, or whether he'd still go with the same design as Roman Abramovich had already planned for. We don't know really. So it remains to be seen what he's planning. There's a chance he goes for a different design. Do I like the current design? Yes, I do like the current design, but we're not sure what he's going to do. He may well try to go with something, there's a chance, again, there's a chance he comes up with an even better design. You don't know until that happens. So here says we need a signing who can both play in service position and other positions. Again, if you ask me, the way I like football, I like specialty football, footballers, I prefer players who are specialized in a certain position to be deployed in that position. That way, they'd be able to execute that role very, very well. But when you play players in roles that they're not specialized, that's a chance they don't give you 100% because that's not their preferred role, if you want to say it that way. He says we need a Genteri clone. Yeah, not just a Fabregas clone. We also do need a Michael Essien clone. We also do need an Ivanovic clone. So we'll bring back those players, the spine we had then. Wait, I will get you some news, Coachella. Please do get it, and we'll talk about it. I'd appreciate that because we're still here. Lee says it's never boring, and it's a show. And if the show is slow. Also in the chat, bring back up. Yep. Okay, no problem. Let's keep talking since you want us to talk. Friday is coming. I think Friday is what day? The 10th. Great point. That's when. Which of the windows opened on the 10th? The domestic window opens on the 10th, and the European window opened on the 1st. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's it. Again, we'll see. And remember, we're still working on the lineup. And so far with the lineup, what do we have here? I want to show what we have in a minute. Again, with what we have already in the lineup, we may well change it. This is what we have. We did with chosen 11. Yep, this is what we have on the lineup already. And then again, remember I said this is not final. We will be following developments when the transfer window opens. We will be monitoring the club's activities in the transfer window. So if the club's activities call for us to make a change in the lineup, we will make a change in it. And the truth is, like I said a day ago and 2 days ago, that if at the end of the transfer window, it's not complete until the transfer window shuts, that's when we can say, we have the final potential Chelsea 2022-2023 lineup. So, but that's, by the way, here we say we have a sex clone. It's called Ziyech. I think Ziyech can even do better than Cesc in terms of that is the position where he can create the chances from. Again, the Cesc operates more centrally, whereas Ziyech does better when he's on the flanks. Again, that's the difference there. And Ziyech also adds pace. He adds so much pace to his passes that before the opposition defense knows what's going on, the ball gets its intended destination. That's the difference between the two players. Again, you can see, another thing is that Ziyech can shoot better than Fabregas. Fabregas, his shots are always about finesse and placement. He's not in terms of the power. That's not him. Again, I'm going to take a sip of the water before I lose my voice. Okay, now we have Felix saying Gabriel Jesus has been offered to Chelsea. Yeah, we talked about a few days ago, and now I'm hearing that Chelsea has made inquiries, to inquire whether he's for sale or how much they're willing to sell him for. Yes, but not sure yet what's going to happen. It remains to be seen. Again, my first choice would be Lautaro Martinez and not Gabriel Jesus. But probably Gabriel Jesus will come on a cheap. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure the price tag. Again, do some Fulham talk. I don't know Fulham that well to talk about them. And this is strictly Chelsea until the sister channel launches, they can say a month or 2 months before the World Cup. That's when we talk about every other club on the panel. But this time, this is strictly about Chelsea Football Club. The sister channel, which will be launching in a few months, we'll talk about every other club. If that's what you want, you get a chance. Do some Brentford talk and QPR. I don't know those clubs very well. If anybody wants to join and talk about them, feel free to do so. Guess it's mentality. Possibly, it may well be mentality. Terry and Wilkins were vocal and led by deeds and action. That's what makes a good leader. Either you lead by example, or you're vocal. Being vocal also helps on the pitch because you can communicate with your teammates even better. Central midfield, True Blue, right? Yep. Again, wasn't Lampard the second captain? I think when Terry left, I think he took over the captainship from John Terry, and it was after him. Then I think it was after him that Cesar Azpilicueta took over from Lampard. I'm not sure in the order that it happened, but Terry first for sure, then Lampard. But I'm not sure who Cesar Azpilicueta took the captainship from. You can ask me. Bastoni and Martinez everybody. They're better. You could argue they have things they do better than Lukaku. Says no form talk here. It's Chelsea. Talk Craven Cottage. Nope. I'm going to talk Chelsea and Chelsea alone on this channel until I launch the sister channel. Yep, no form talk. Here men talk about size when we had Zola. Zola is another fine player. Again, he's so skilled. But again, the only thing about Zola is that how many things did he actually win? I don't know. I don't think. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't win that much. Even with Chelsea, he didn't win that much. But again, he was so skillful that even though he didn't win that much for Chelsea Football Club, he's still seen as a legend. He entertained the fans quite well. He was so skillful to watch. It's delicious to watch if you prefer. But I loved him as a player. Again, it says 1 billion on stadium. Yep. And Romance, how much was Romance? Budget for the stadium? Wasn't it around 400 to 500 or around that number? But now I think the price has gone up. But I'm still thinking. Let me know if you think Todd Boehly will go for a different design, or do you think he will stick with Roman Abramovich's design? We don't know, but we'll see what happens. Again, let me see. Similarly, he says nobody, maybe De Vrij, maybe Dumfries, Afonso Inter. Again, I understand the stadium, but have no vocal cords. Oh, sorry to hear that. Again, apologies for. Again, let me see. Beer and Dennis Jenny in Spencer. Again, what? Let's talk about politics here. I think it's going crazy right now. Since you say we don't need a traditional striker, Jesus will be ideal. Jesus will be ideal. Martinez will be ideal. Mane will be ideal. But we've talked about Mane. It doesn't look like he's going to join us. And surprisingly, Mane is just on $100,000 a week salary. It'd be risky for Chelsea to try and go for Mane. Why do I say that? I'd argue that the moment Chelsea goes and tries to sign Mane, then you'd hear them say, "Okay, give us Christian Pulisic, and we'll give you Sadio Mane." So again, I don't think Chelsea will even try to sign him, but I think he will make a good number 9 for Thomas Tuchel. But let's see. I think Jos Viola has shared something. Let's see what she shared with us. If it's something we're going to talk about, we will do that. Okay, let's see. What's that saying? Okay, let's read. I think Peter Cech has something to say about Romelu Lukaku. Let me try and get that open, and then I'll share it with you. Right now, I'm going to put this to this way, and then open the page in particular before I share that with you. It says, the Queen says, "Thank you, Leah. You're a monster." Again, Leah is a girl. Lee, sorry, apologies. Before you come back with a fight against me now. Say, "Thanks, Lee. You're a monster." He's a monster indeed in terms of his contributions in the chat. Boehly had talks with Roman's a stadium guy. So that means that he's probably planning on keeping the same design. There's a chance, again, people differ. People, that's why in the movie industry, they say give 10 directors a single script, you get 10 different interpretations of that script in question. So it makes sense. And in here, it says, so there's a chance he might want to change the design a bit. There's also a chance he keeps it. But why is he talking with the designer if he's not planning on changing anything? That's a question we have to answer. We need Chelsea people winning a team. Yeah, winning close. Yeah, all stars, we need that. Hi, would you take Ivan Toney to Chelsea? As well as he's done, I don't think he will fit into the way we play. Again, that's me. You tell me if you think otherwise. That would be nice. Lee says, "Behave, keep you up." Premier League boss. Okay, again, that's tomorrow 10th. Yeah, that's why Stribia has been saying it will be Friday soon. Stribia has said it like a zillion times in the chat. It will be Friday soon. It will be Friday soon. And once it's Friday, believe me, all hell is going to break loose. It says, True Blue, it says, yes, we can sign Sterling tomorrow. We can sign Martinez. We can sign De Ligt. And another thing I want us to talk about, I don't know if the person that was saying that in the chat was trolling, that De Ligt has signed a contract extension at Juventus. I think that's a lie. If you're in the chat, please do let me know if that's the truth. Would rather we got who we want in the next 3 weeks, TT's time to work. Yeah, so that they participate well fully for the preseason. So Ziyech played calm for Utrecht and Ajax when he has played wide. But again, you see how Tuchel deploys the 2 number 8, and whenever he uses Ziyech there, I don't really like it. I get your point though. But do we use a cam? No, we don't. Tell me if that's the case. The way he structures the lineup, you cannot argue that we use cams. The main ones, okay. You want to see anything else here? Sosa is a good option in the left side. I think you could argue that Borna Sosa is good, but it remains to be seen how serious our links to him is. Here we go. Give us the news. Give us the news here, Tobago. What are you holding back? A true innovative. Let us know. Please don't hold back. Oh, good. We can attack Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham. Yep, in your opinion. Says, let me see. Fabrizio Romano, Jules Kounde deal still a priority for Chelsea. Tuchel wants him. Talks are well advanced on player side, while Sevilla are still waiting to receive the opening bid. You see, that's the main reason. Another reason why we should be careful how we suck up to everything we read on the news. Some would tell you that the deal, is done already. That I actually negotiated with Sevilla. It turns out we haven't even spoken with them. So there's actually a chance that Chelsea may well decide to go for another player and forget about Jules Kounde. I hope that doesn't happen because I really like the player. He scored some amazing goals too, boss. Yep, I love Zola so much. His skill set is for something I cherish the most. For the French centre-back, price tag will be around 65, less than 18 million release clause. Yep, it should be because his contract is winding down. Zola is a Chelsea guard. Indeed, he is. They haven't bid yet. Why? I don't know. Maybe they're contemplating other options. That's why it's usually not a good sign if Chelsea haven't spoken with Sevilla. It's not a good sign, clearly. I think if we're serious about getting him, we should have started talking with them before now. But let's see what happens. Maybe Thomas Tuchel is contemplating other players. We don't know. There's a growing feeling among Europe's top clubs that Raheem Sterling will consider leaving Manchester City in the summer. Chelsea are believed to be the English club with the greatest interest. How truthful is that? I don't know. But here's what I'm going to say here. I'm still going to say this. I've read it somewhere, and I think that may well be the case. That there's a chance, actually. There's a chance that the Raheem Sterling's camp is using the links to Chelsea to try to get more money for the player. That may well be the case, but we don't know until we get the whole information regarding that. Zola was voted PFA again. Yep, which he deserved. I think he was great for Chelsea Football Club. 3 billion, is that for the stadium? You let me know. Or it's just okay for the purchase of the club. I think it is 4 plus something. Zola Zola has won 2 FA Cups, 1 League Cup, 1 European Cup, Winners' Cup, 1 Super Cup, 1 Community Shield. So that's not bad. That's not bad, really. So he's won. I think the only thing missing there, you could argue, is the Champions League. Again, nice to hear how well he's done at Chelsea Football Club. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see whether he says Zola was a baller. He was talking about a baller. Zola was a baller. Again, lots of unique skill sets he used. And if Zola had been 5 years younger, he would have won 2-3 Premier League titles with us. That's the truth. And then you're arguing that he'd still be there when Mourinho arrived. That's the truth. I sent you a DM. Yeah, I will share that in a bit. Here it says, thank you. Again, says a super sticker from the Queen of all streams. Thank you very much for the donation, Queen. I sincerely do appreciate that. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to the channel. I know we've argued you don't need to donate. I will always read your comment if we have enough time because your support is invaluable. Todd Boehly will change the structure. You heard, I suspected that because if he's not planning on changing the structure, why is he talking to the designers? That's the question. I'm glad we got Zola when he was made to just love football and not money. Yep, that's the truth. I just completed your words. I hope I'm not misquoting you. He talked about feasibility and aspects. So that's a chance he will be reducing. And I'm not sure. What do you think that means to you? What do you think he really means when he says that? That's the question I want to ask. Do you think he's talking about, reducing the capacity or something like that? You let me know. I'm not sure what the case is. Please just let me know. I say Zola also won Serie A titles. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, my focus then when I was saying that was Chelsea Football Club, but I think he forever remains a legend, and nobody can take away that from him. He was a god, indeed. He was. Says schemed United's defense and other defenses too, not just United's defense. Says the league refused to sign an extension unless, yeah, we've talked about that. So I'm just asking the guy that came here this morning who was talking about how he's extended his stay at Juventus. I think he was trolling because the same guy said something about Mason Mount extending his contract at Chelsea to 2027. I think he's was clearly trolling. Nice says, want the best just to annoy the rest. Yep, that's the rhymes too. I like that. 115 likes a weekend. Yes, thank you very much for 115 likes, people. And if you're watching, we still have around 61 people watching. If you're watching and you haven't liked the video, please do like the video to help us reach more people. And I also want to say tomorrow we will most definitely do the draws for who. So the contestants for the Roman Abramovich contest, find out who they are going to contest against to see if they get a chance to win $150 for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. And before that, again, we still find out details I'd have to discuss with Jos Viola regarding the construct or the structure of the competition. So what leads to deduction of points, what adds points and all that. But we will be ready by tomorrow, I do believe. Says it's an expensive stadium, boss. Looks that good. You mean the Romans own a plan? So maybe Todd Boehly will be looking to change the plan. And he can also do something equally magnificent for cheap. It doesn't have to be that expensive, but we'll see. Chelsea is a big club, but I cannot know how going to buy a sharp striker. We want a Chelsea sign new players. And now, Marina and your coach just, I get what you're trying to say there. Let them just work together, and sign a new player, sign good players. I think that will go along with, like the Roman killer thing. Yep, but people started making fun of us. They said, the structure of our stadium looked like a toilet seat. That even we're talking about Chelsea, I gotta say that made me laugh. The club haven't been Oriola. Players have to have big buyouts to get the money they give him back. Yeah, but without him now, I think players are fighting back. For instance, De Ligt wants Juventus to reduce the release clause before he signs a new contract. But even at that, I still see, again, I think it was Nini that argued Juventus are looking, they may well be looking to sell De Ligt, given that before even as they tried to keep him at the club, he'd be asking for more money than they want. I think you could argue Chelsea still has a chance to sign him, but I don't think we've tried. I don't think we've even inquired. Given that Juventus wants, they want, what's his name, Jorginho, we may say, okay, we can give you Jorginho plus cash to take him. Let's see what happens. I'd want him. But the question remains, I wanted to ask people here is, okay, the question is this: would you take a De Ligt over a Koulibally? Let me know. So I'm going to put out a poll to see what you decide. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, to you too. Nick Blue says, again, says, hi, Nick. Nick, how have you been? I hope you're well. But we need more shares. It's going to be a roller coaster. It will be indeed. Haaland signed with Pini Ziyech, Zayavi, a mate of romance. Sadly, were sanctioned then. So your argument is, since Zayavi, that sounds like an Israeli name, is a romance mate. You're arguing that we would have been able to get Haaland had we not been under sanctions in restrictions. I think you make a good argument there, but sadly for us, we're not able. Haaland was $2 pay. Everyone was surprised. And we're not sure actually how much his salary will be at City. He's probably earning quite a lot. Maybe that may well be the case. They're reluctant to renew Raheem Sterling's deal. So probably trying, to reduce their wage bill. Do you rate Gilmore higher than Ross Barkley? I do. I do rate Billy Gilmore higher than Ross Barkley. That's the current Ross Barkley, not the Ross Barkley, before he got injured and before we signed him. But the current Ross Barkley, I rate Billy Gilmore better than him. And with that, guys, I want to ask you to please keep liking the video. We have 2,715 likes. That's not easy. We've gained nearly 15 likes today, but we've been average 16 subscribers today. We have 2,715 subscribers. We usually average 60 to 70 subscribers per day. So if you haven't, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't, to help us reach more people. So let me see where I stopped here. Says, nice to see you, just again, just saying hello to everybody. And Stick Beer, okay, it was a mistake, I know. Yes, lots of love. Are you still live? Yeah, I'm still live. I wanted to leave, but people want us to keep talking. So that's why occasionally, no StreamYard to my Twitter. Okay, I'll do that in a bit. Just give me 1 second. So if you want to join me, you join me. Do you rate Gilmore higher than Ross? I said yes, I do rate Billy Gilmore higher than Ross Barkley. The Ross Barkley we have now, that is just me. Again, let me see what else we have here. Like beyond, let me see. Okay, things have changed with the Stoll Veterans apartment up for sale next door. Oh, so that will make a huge difference in the stadium plans. The stadium can now be turned the other way. Wow. So there's a chance we're looking also to change the plan. Declan, welcome to the studio. They say lateness is greatness. The most important thing is that you're joining. How you doing, brother?
Big up, coach. Yeah, lateness would have been, earlier would have been better. So lateness isn't great. Great after all.
No, but yeah, okay, I understand. Bills don't pay themselves. We're all busy, and after all, this is pro bono, no matter how we see it. I want to get your thought, Declan, on this comment here from True regarding, the possibility of the stadium can be turned elsewhere. Do you think he'd be looking to change the structure?
Well, wasn't that part of the process?
To change the structure? No, to rebuild.
No,
well,
to provide
I was thinking maybe it'd be easier for him to use, romance plans and not go for a new plan. Your thoughts?
I'm not sure if romance plans had that included, or
had what included?
So
Sorry.
whichever way they've looked at it, they've proposed this. Maybe it's a better plan than the romance plan.
Yeah, there's a chance that is. There's a chance that is. So let's look at this one. You just made. This was what just the other shared with me. It looks like she knew that you'd come on to the panel. Your thoughts on this? Petr Cech on Romelu Lukaku. I personally believe that he will have a great season because last season we saw how strong he can be at the beginning when he came. What does this tell you?
Yeah, so what Petr Cech is saying that when Lukaku goes to Inter Milan, he'll have a great season.
I know you know fully well that's not what you meant.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
goodness.
Lukaku's ability. It's just that he didn't want to play. That's about it. That was true exercise. He exercising his player power right, and that's we're seeing all of it. So it's not I mean, you know, like when you watch Timo Werner, you say that guy's not converting, but he's doing everything else good, but he's not scoring. He's putting in the effort.
He's just unlucky or
trying
something like
harder.
that.
So many other things, yeah. But then when you have Lukaku and like he doesn't want to move, 7 touches, breaks the record for 7 touches in a game, does the interview. These are traits of, you know, someone that is unhappy. An unhappy person doesn't really play well, or actually doesn't want to play well. And you know, Peter Cech can say all he wants, but I mean, there's a lot of other reports saying that Lukaku is hiring lawyers and he's been talking to Inter since December. Yeah, so I think, I mean, it's very similar to what he did for Man United. He really wanted to get out of there, took a pay cut. When he wants to get out, he does everything he can. So I think he's going to get his way. I think even if it's a loan deal, I think he's out.
Well, what are the chances of him leaving? What do you think?
High. I think it's pretty high.
Really? Even though the whole thing is way too complicated, it's not as simple as people see it. Yes, we want him to leave. Him staying won't help matters. But again, I still believe, but I still believe it's you know, you and I know it's very, very difficult. But that's a high chance he stays too. It's 50-50.
If he stays, right, he's going to have to win back the fans. He's starting really low. He's lost the fans for one of the biggest ones, yeah? He's lost the fans. No one's got any patience. He has to be really good for people to start saying, all right, you know, let's get on his side now. But, I mean, because the longer Lukaku stays, the more, well, if he stays, he prevents bigger transfers and more transfers, just because we got to pay that transfer fee, finish that off, and his wage will prevent from other players, because our wage was still pretty high, you know, compared to what we earn. So, you know, if you're going to keep Lukaku, then he has to make an impact. If he's just going to sit on the bench, that's gonna hold us back.
Yeah, I see that. Your thoughts are Phantom.
Can I ask you a previous topic? You said you were going to start a new channel that has other football teams?
Yeah, a new sister channel. You could say in 2-3 months, we're still going through the branding process.
Will that be the 3 a.m. show?
It's going to be everywhere. Because it's not just going to be me.
Okay.
Remember, I'm talking with a female presenter who I think will run the structure of her being part of the family soon.
Is it going to be Charlotte Strong?
The female presenter?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you know her.
Okay, if it's Charlotte Strong, I'm not going to be on that channel at all. So
I don't even know who Charlotte is.
Okay, he's with Nigel or whatever his name is. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Anyways.
But just be sincere with me, brother. This coming from Peter Cech, what does it sound like to you? What can you read from it?
I personally believe he will have a great season. Last season we saw. Okay, so if we get Martinez, then maybe that solves our problem with Lukaku, because that would just be like getting Yusuf for Werner. You know, if we get his strike partner, then maybe we'll do okay. And maybe he'll want to stay, because if we have Martinez, then Martinez is the guy who feeds him the goals, right? And then we can play the Lukaku way with Martinez.
So
Martinez is the missing element to make Lukaku score.
Martinez isn't the main issue here. A few things. Getting Martinez alone will solve Lukaku's problem. One, we're not a counter-attacking team. There will not always be that seamless, space to isolate Lukaku and the goalkeeper. So all he has to do is just put the ball in the back of the net. That's not the Premier League.
I don't understand why this possession. Why is Tuchel so based on possession? I mean, it's like possession doesn't seem to get us any wins. We have the ball 65% of the time, and we barely score a goal every game.
Why is that? Because we struggle. But against the bigger teams who are attackers, we do well. But when we play against teams that defend deep, it's useless because you can't break them down. And that's why I'm looking at whether if we're serious about getting Rafael Leão, with whom I think I heard his release clause is around 140 million, but he's worth it. That's another Hazard who in the making, who's capable of, no matter how you're packed, he'll weave his way through and create something.
It's not the Todd Bowley way, though. Todd Bowley is a value seeker. That's not his. Okay, so I don't know how Todd Bowley is going to be in soccer. I do know a lot about Todd Bowley in baseball. And he's one of those people who goes around and looks for bargain basement kind of prices, like he says, oh, you want some guy who could do this. Okay, well, I'll get you a cheap guy, kind of like the way that the sabermetric universe that Liverpool uses, because FSG and Todd Bowley are the same kind of beast. That they're not going to go out and sign you Erling Haaland. They're going to go out and find someone who has this attribute or that attribute, and then put together a team with chemistry. And then maybe in the end, as the icing on the cake, they'll bring in one big guy for a particular, like striker or something like that. But that comes at the end. He builds slowly from the bottom first up. He didn't win the World Series the first year he took over the team. It took him 5 years to do it. And Todd Bowley is a very patient person, and he's not going to just try to buy the most expensive striker just to impress the fans. It's not going to work that way, because he, like I said, he's a very patient guy. He's going to take 4 or 5 years. I already consider this next year a rebuilding team. I don't expect us to even get third next year. So it's perfectly okay if this year is kind of like a rebuilding year, kind of like that first year that Lampard came aboard. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but Fantokra,
yes,
is it safe to say that Todd Bowley doesn't know anything about football?
Yes, but
so would he just go with the European culture and what we have now, and probably just get the right people in, not necessarily implement what he does in baseball and what people do there, and just do the right thing here for the right people, rather than trying to change it all up? Because FSG came in and tried that, and it failed. Right. To get to the point where they are now, is they got the right people in, and the transfers have worked out, but it's not off the same system.
No, but what I'm saying is Todd Bowley is not the kind of guy to go out and buy the highest price flash, which would be someone like Erling Haaland. He's not that kind of guy.
They don't have transfers in those sports, don't they? Transfer fees?
No, they don't have transfer fees. What they do is when they go free agent, they just pay the most money, and they have bidding wars too, for the services of somebody. And no, in baseball it's mostly player trades, and it's mostly because, for example, you guys have these championship leagues, but in baseball, each of the major league teams has a minor league team. And basically you trade your minor, like for example, you have an academy. What we would be doing is, you want, some guy, you want let's say you want a left wing back. Okay, well, give me 3 of your academy players, and they just trade. So when you're talking about rebuilding, you trade, younger players for older players and stuff like that. But it's a completely different thing. I understand. I think that Todd Bowley he's not going to be the one who jumps in and makes all these decisions. He's going to hire a director of football to make these decisions.
Yeah, I think we're hearing that he wants to do that already. Declan, let me start with you. This comment on the screen, do you think it's correct?
100%. I'm like you.
Yeah. But would you rather prefer us, defending deep than keeping the ball while, as a defensive measure?
If you don't know it already, possession is the best form of defense.
Yeah.
If the opponent can't get the ball, can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a big fan of possession football. Not people think it's boring. People try to be little sideway passes and that. But if you actually played before, and if you know that, and it stems from when you're a young kid, and that and it never changes, even when you get to a senior level, playing what we call keepings off, or it's got a different name everywhere. Just keeping the ball with no goals, just playing possession football with no goals, which we call keepings up. I know it's got a different name everywhere, and you try not give the other player a touch, and that is what you learn from a kid all the way to above. And there's an actual art and skill and enjoyment to that. Some people that aren't familiar and they watch it, they just think it's boring.
Yeah,
So
I think Kyle is saying
I
this.
enjoy that because because the best, I mean the best form of football in the last couple decades has been from like what Pep has been doing with where he started from what was called tiki-taka, and he evolved that with implementing the English game and different cultures and the second ball, and he's improved that game. And the high position game, if you can pull it off, and it's the hardest one to learn because there is massive chemistry and the type of players, but it is the best form. I mean, people are just impatient. When you watch a game, people just want long balls and then always in the attack and always a threat. But I mean, some people have to appreciate the fact that your team can keep the ball and the other team can't touch it, because the other fact is that you have to run more to win it back. So the other team, if you can keep the ball longer, the other team will get more tired.
You tire them out
over time. Yeah, so it's the ultimate skill to have, and if you could do it, and then other teams just give up. And so, how many times you've seen when a team's so good at possession, well, they just go, well, we're not going to tire ourselves out chasing this all the time. We just might as well sit back deep and make it hard to break down. And so every team you come against, already you've won the battle of they can't play their way of football because you play your way of football so well that they have to sit deep and try counter. And that works in some games, right? And we've seen that. I'm not saying it's foolproof, but
every game with Milan Sar.
When you make the other team have to change their way of playing completely, then you already won the respect, right? And so you just play your way, playing to the best of their abilities, and they have to work. They have to change completely how the way they play. So just all those bases is why it makes it the ultimate football. Because have you ever seen a game? You know what's more boring to me? You ever seen two counter-attacking teams play?
Yeah, it's like a 5-4 kind of game. Right? You get Leeds.
You
get Leeds and Norwich, right? Two counter-attacking teams, right?
Yeah, I think Mikhail
Leeds is not
made that comment in response.
Not counter-attacking, but the kind that just attacks like that.
Yeah, I think Mikhail made that comment in response to what Phantom said. He doesn't like to keep the ball. And actually, that's like Declared alluded to. That's the best approach to defend, because the next way to also defend, be defensive, will be to defend deep and just be running around while the opponent keep the ball. That's not okay. So the best way to be defensive is to keep the ball. So it makes perfect sense. Again, it's a good argument. I'm going to try to catch up here. Then Declared, I'll come back with you with everything we've talked about, you two, so that I get your opinion. Todd loves the club, but Said gives TT the choice. I think that makes sense. Again, but I've been arguing, that's always how it should be. The manager should have the final say on what player he wants. Him and the scout work together, look at the players, attributes and all that profile, and say, okay, this will fit in. This player will fit into what we want to do. It should always be like that. So I'm surprised that people are raving about it like it's something new. I don't know. I'd rather have kept him at Chelsea. Okay, they're talking about Eden Hazard, that if he wanted. Yep. Again, considering America to the Premier League is madness. Comparing. Okay, I get your point. Bolly already said he wants a quick impact. He wants a statement signings. He wants a quick success. Over to you, Tuchel. Again, over to him. Yeah, that which means he has to point the players he wants, and the club has to get it for him. Then before you say, okay, we need result now. You have all the players you want. But that's not to say if you make too many changes. If we make too many changes, if it becomes an overhaul from the defensive area to the attacking area, this transfer window, we must, tamper temper our expectations with, carefulness, if you want to phrase it that way. But Pulisic will stay on other season. I think he stays. He's more than just a footballer for the club. We've talked about that a billion times, and I can assure you that Liverpool, who are coming, who we've heard are interested in signing him, they're not coming for him strictly because of his ball playing ability. They understand how big he is in America, and Liverpool they're owned by Americans too. So again, the meaning medical staff. Yep. To be honest, it got bored. Yep. I have to say that. Imagine our position without the final goal. And usually keeping the ball becomes boring when you don't score goals. So it doesn't make sense. Imagine our position without the final goal. It doesn't really. It's useless. Even if I wasn't giving up. Screamed like a bunch of dough. Again, that's hilarious. Let me try and catch up quickly. Since it's hard with my accent. Yeah, but sometimes you type in your accent too. So that's okay. Ali says, Ken, that's okay. That's having a conversation between them. People paying 60 to 110 pounds plus to go to games. They don't want a boredom. Again, it isn't just.
Could I address
it's not
this?
Boring.
Go
ahead.
This is a cultural thing. This is a cultural thing because in Spain and South American countries, I know well aware, celebrate possession, right? And when back decades ago, when I think even what was the example when Jamie Carragher used to headed the ball out, and the English crowd used to cheer, right? In those countries, they don't cheer that; they cheer the hold of possession, right? So it's a very cultural thing. In some other countries, they enjoy it. They will ole it. That's where ole comes from, right? Each time that the opponent can't get it, they'll ole. I mean, there's other fans who get into it, but if English fans just want to see long balls and then something on the end of it, yeah, it's a cultural thing. They don't have to pay that money, but other people do enjoy it. And if you pay that much money and all you want to see is long balls, why don't you just go to amateur league? Man, they don't play like that. I'm sure they play. I mean, the championship play like that. And it would probably be cheaper. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to play a lower class of football just for the fans, and you're taking this risk breaker because everyone wants to see it. Just the long balls, which has died off. Which you don't remember the Stoke City and those type of teams? They've died off now.
Leeds plays that way. Norwich plays that way.
I think Leeds is just attack.
High press, yeah.
High octane football, intensity.
They do one of the most running in the game.
Yeah.
They if they made a European football, they'll struggle the way they're playing. They'll struggle to keep up fitness between their players.
They will concede goals like madness. But that's, by the way, here Triple says the league's attraction around the world is blood, thunder, and high intensity. The high intensity remain even in possession. Teams still play with high intensity. Again, I get your point on
how
how
have high intensity.
Yeah, you can still have high intensity while keeping the ball. You don't. It doesn't. Again, I don't know how to argue that, but I get your argument. But the game has really changed. Even the Premier League has changed. Most teams like to keep the ball. British again. That's another language there. I'm not sure, given Tuchel power to sign players without a director of football, might backfire. He said, I'm not sure. Okay, might backfire. Plus, Tuchel relying on our scouts, who's done nothing for the club. I think Tuchel is a numbers man himself. I think he'd be able to say, I want that player, I want the other player. Then the scouts will look at it and say, okay, you sure this is going to work? How about this? And again, I'm not. Can you, Declan, can you tell us what's really the role of a director of football?
Is to maintain transfers 1-for-1, and it's usually all the coaching. It's everything for the manager, so he doesn't have to really think. So the director of football has a long-term plan, right? And so we're going to play this way and this way. And so if Tuchel didn't work out, the director of football would know the ideal candidate to come in. Do you know what I mean? So if we're going to play this certain way, we're going to get this profile of players, and then he'll have a long-term plan. So we have to buy this certain youth, to build the team. And so it's about just keeping the long-term goal intact. So he'll build the squad. So it's almost why a lot of teams didn't need it is because they had a manager that did that, especially back in the past. But because managers come and go, and it changes the profile of the team and the transfers, that's why it's all over the place for teams that didn't have a director of football.
Todd Bowley is not going to be like Abramovich and just fire Tuchel after a season or two. He's not that kind of.
I think he'll give him time. Yeah.
It takes a long time. I have more faith in Todd Bowley to build a winning empire than I do in Roman Abramovich. Roman Abramovich seemed to trigger happy on the managers and created this great Frankenstein, where we have a team full of, all these different kinds of players that different managers wanted, starting with Antonio Conte and then from Mauricio Sarri, Frank Lampard, and now Tuchel. I mean, that's what our team is built on. And that's not the way Todd Bowley is. He's going to be, if he's going to have the faith in Tuchel, then he's going to give him 3 to 5 years to make this happen, just like the way that Liverpool gave that time to Jurgen Klopp. Because, like I said, Todd Bowley didn't try to win the World Series with the Dodgers first year after he took it from Frank McCourt, who currently owns the Marseille team in France, ironically. So, because Frank McCourt was horrible for the Dodgers.
Yeah, but, you're always dragging us into baseball.
Well, I'm just talking about.
I'm just kidding. I get your point.
No, I mean you all know more soccer than me, but I know this. I know this owner better than all of you.
I know. I'm just kidding. You're trying to tell us how he operates. I'm just kidding. You know
he's
that.
He's a very patient man. He's going to stretch this thing. He's going to build a winner in 3 to 5 years. He's not trying to build a winner. He's not trying to beat Pep over at Man City next year. It's not going to happen. We're not taking the Premier League next year. Maybe the Champions.
I think you make a good argument. I think you make a good argument on how Todd Bowley operates. I think he does that. He understands, to dominate for a while, you need consistency from the managerial perspective, if you want to phrase it that way. So let me quickly catch up here, and I have a question I want to ask the class. And again, we have 118 likes. Thank you for 118 likes. And we've gained a few subscribers. You're going? Okay, talk to you later. We've gained a few subscribers also, and we hope to gain even more subscribers before we round up the show today. We're approaching 3,000 subscribers. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here it says, hope so. TT needs a few years to mold the team and squad into his philosophy. That is very correct. We need to see that happen. Like Vialli, I liked him too. At the time he became our player coach, right? I think he did. He had passion. Yep. He loved the club too. Only thing I agree with this guy, he's talking about Phantom, is about Todd Bowley. Yep. He understands how Todd Bowley operates, and I think he's very correct in terms of what he thinks Todd Bowley would do. Conte didn't play long and all looked more the ball quickly. Again, don't think we've ever had a manager who liked to use the long ball. How about Jose? Didn't he? Mourinho did quite a lot. But Thomas is us, and I love him, and I want him to stay at Chelsea Football Club as long as possible.
Long balls. You got to be delusional to think that Conte didn't play long balls.
No, he played long balls
set
too.
Up to,
yeah. Usually during the game, that's the first thing Chelsea does if the team to pass the ball.
Yeah, he had so much set up for the turnover, and then 2 players waiting on the break. Bang, long ball.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think Lukaku steam train came from? He was great at it. You give Lukaku a long ball like that with space, great. If you watch Inter, you would have seen it. But I guess True Blue knows what he's talking about.
Brands, but file of football, what he wants to. That's just loudest. But I get your comments. Hit me for my views. No, nobody hates you for your views. The Queen of Horse. I guess Samantha says yes. Keep liking the video, people. Just keep liking. Again, it makes sense. Just like it. The more like you get, the more you're supporting the channel. Sylvia says, I mean, no offense, it's football. Yep, it's totally football. True Blue in the red corner versus De Ligt in the red. Okay, yeah, let them fight. Again, this time, this is the kind of situation that you hear Lee say, okay, I'm going to go get my beer. We're almost over with the show. Next year, he finishes second. Bill, who finishes second? You're talking about you're talking about Thomas Tuchel. Again, it depends on the signings we make, on how many changes we make in the team. The fewer the changes, the more the better. The more, I think, the better we do. And again, with that, I want to ask you, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Again, I sincerely do appreciate your support. The channel would have been growing as fast as it is without you guys supporting the channel. Declared, okay, again, this is, he says, let me see what they're talking about here. Hey, let me see if Lee is being biased supporting anybody here. Where is it? It says, declared, okay, have the away kit. I'm like it that we're getting a laugh out of it. That's good. Again, Douglas Ndumbo Hazard, he is an experienced player, and he was fighting on man. But I love him, man. I want him back if he can come back, but I don't think that will happen again. Mourinho Dean, we had players who ran at teams like Robin. Overall, I think Mourinho use his teams do use long balls quite a lot. And again, yeah, I get your argument. Yeah, we have players that run the way you explained. Mourinho would never have played Mount. I disagree with you, Quinn. Here's the thing: Mount is actually Mourinho's kind of player.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount is Mourinho's kind of player because of his industry, because of how he presses, how he runs during the game from start to finish. Mount is actually his kind of player. I think he'd actually mold Mount into another Frank Lampard if you give him that opportunity. Yet he hardly gives them chance because he wanted to win. Again, you could argue because of that. So he's always looking for established players and not the youth didn't get the youth didn't get that much of a chance under him. What do I know? I missed one game in Moscow. Mourinho's first. No, we see it too. I'm not saying he's heavily reliant on long balls, but they play long balls. His teams play long balls. Even contest teams do play long balls. Long balls is actually contest team. If Chelsea get to pass the ball first, that's the first thing they do. Again, that's me. I could be wrong, but we're here to have a conversation. We're not here to fight. I know you understand that too. Mourinho needed that long ball quick, especially when he got the draw. Quite a lot of them happened when we had draw. Yep. Again, Hazard was brilliant, but can make a team around him. Again, he needs to the issues you could argue we're having with his cousin or brother or Lukaku, however you want to phrase it. But I think Hazard, you need to make him feel important to get the best out of him. That's just who he is. He says, Mourinho gave yeah, but how many games did he play under him? Silvio Mourinho gave RSC his debut, but how many games after that? Lewis Baker, what happened after that? He dropped Cahill to bring in Zuma and Christensen. In that aspect, I think you could argue that. But yeah, I get your point. I think you win this one anyway. Sometimes, again, with that, I think, let me ask Declan this question before we round up the show. Declan, the poll I have out, if you're looking at it, I asked, which of these players should Chelsea sign from Inter? Again, until now, what we have is 29% for Skriniar, 24% for Bastoni, and Martinez, 47%, and I'm ending the poll. So the question I have for you...
No Dumfries?
No Dumfries. I didn't add Dumfries. Are we looking at Dumfries?
Yeah, I read that today.
Really? So we want to buy the whole Inter Milan team.
Well,
here's the thing.
It could be that they're struggling to... They really want Lukaku. They're struggling, and maybe it's going to take a player. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about
media
this.
making that assumption.
Yeah, you've made that point now. Maybe they really want Lukaku. Do you think Lukaku will be able to replicate his form before we sign him? Without that is because there's a chance they sell Lautaro Martinez. They need to bring in money to balance the books. And the player that's most likely to get them more than enough to do that will be Lautaro Martinez, not even Bastoni, not even Skriniar. So what I read yesterday was that we were looking at all of these players. We're looking at Lautaro Martinez. We're looking at Milan Škriniar. We're looking at Bastoni. Which one of these signings will make sense to you if Lukaku leaves?
I think Martinez is key because he signed the contract, long-term contract, when Lukaku left, and for Lukaku to return, especially shouting out his name in an interview. I think they want to keep Martinez as long as possible. I think they want to keep all these players as much as they can. I mean, if they don't buy anyone, they still come out with a bit of a profit. I think everyone's saying that they need to do so and so, but we don't know what they need to do. Can they just sell one player and be enough, or is it looked at like this because they really want Lukaku? So I think Bastoni has a lot of interest. Maybe it could.
Yeah,
be
but he's just returning from injury. You're not sure which one. I'm not sure how serious his injury was. And for Bastoni, do you think we really need him? Do you think it fits into our team?
Yeah, if you didn't know, Simeone came in and continued a very like for like, because that's how we played at Lazio. I'm pretty sure it was. For formation and system to how Conte was playing. And the difference what they got was they got Edin Dzeko, who kind of just continued what Lukaku was doing. But at his age, he kind of wandered off and struggled to finish. And I think he was playing every second game. I think it was something like that. So he started well but couldn't finish the season. That's why that position is a key for them. And now Lukaku, who performed so well for him in the same position, has the interest. So I think they want to make Lukaku happen because everything's there, but they're trying to get the cheapest possible, try hang on to the best players as possible, and really make it happen. But probably something who has to give. Maybe one of the players they don't really want.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about.
Or they want
Skriniar.
Lukaku on a loan and probably still can get by. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but that loan deal, I just don't understand. We'll be paying Lukaku to £200,000 a week to score goals for Inter Milan, and it's not like the deal comes with an obligation to buy, which means at the end of the season, they're just going to send it back to us and still be asking for nearly how much we owe them now, which is 70 million plus. So it just doesn't make sense.
If it performs really well, then other clubs will come in for even more.
I hope so. At the age of 30 plus, how much do you think how much do you think we're going to get for him? But that's, by the way, here's the thing. I think Lautaro Martinez, like the chat agrees, it would be make the most sensible signing. But what I want to ask you is this: how about Skriniar? Here's my argument against Skriniar. He gets to play in the left centre back position only when Bastoni isn't playing, and he gets to play in the right hand side only when the guy, what's his name, that starts with them for them on the right-hand side starts. I'm going to find out the guy's name now. So your thoughts, why are we even looking at him? That is if the rumors are true.
Who's this, by the way? Sorry?
Skriniar. The guy after you, if you're looking at the screen, that's the guy after Martinez.
Who won the poll, by the way?
Sorry?
Who won the poll?
Martinez.
Put it down.
Martinez won it by...
Martinez was the guy. Yes, I mean any of the Inter defenders can really come in and play the system.
But where are we gonna fit in? Where are we gonna fit in Skriniar?
I think he plays in the middle for them.
No.
If I remember right?
No. He often starts. Let me find one of the formations. He often starts on the left. And that's only when Bastoni isn't playing.
Plays?
Yeah, only when Bastoni isn't playing. And on the right-hand side, he doesn't start that much either. I know he's a good player, but if we're really getting him for the left-hand side, does he make sense?
No, I just think we need defenders in general, even for depth. even for backup.
As long as he's able to
using-
play in that position, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, depending on how much we get him, it could be just a matter of getting him on the cheap, and he could be a backup, because we still don't know what's happening with Aspie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gone. We're really light. Even if you just get if you Silva can't play as much as he played. You lost two. With Aspie, you can almost count that as 3.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you got players there, he can probably play across any of them as a squad player as well, and probably compete if someone doesn't perform. I mean, at this point, these names are all thrown in because everyone's assuming that Inter can't afford Lukaku, but they really want him, and so something's got to give, and they're having financial troubles, so they're throwing every name under the bus. I don't think we're after Skriniar. Bastoni's got potential. Martinez is good, but I mean he's locked down. I don't think they want to give him up unless you throw.
They may want to sell him because he's the guy that will fetch them the more money to sort out the problems they're having. But we'll see what happens. Again, I'm going to catch up with the chat, and I think with that, I'll ask the Clyde his thoughts on everything. I don't know if he knows everything we've talked about, or maybe if he has an update for us, then we'll round up. Yeah, Silvio says he endorsed Billy Gilmore. Believe me, I'm the guy that loves Billy Gilmore the most on all the Chelsea fan base. Not because he's Scottish, but he's a good player overall. Agreed, Sylvia. Again, ask Roy Keane. Again, ask everybody that understands football. Billy Gilmore is a good player. He's just that loan wasn't a good one for him. Wants him back on loan. And again, it remains to be seen if he's going to agree to go out on loan again. He has just 1 year on his contract, which means from a negotiation standpoint, he's better positioned than the club and will ask for a guarantee that he gets to start plenty of enough games before he extends his contract. If you force him, he's going to run down his contract or leave on a free. So I think we may well be forced to sell him. That's going to break my heart, but that's okay. We need an obligation. Yeah, that's what we need, an obligation to buy. Dumfries won't be moving after one season. I think so too, again. And I don't think they're paying him that much money. I think he's not going to fetch them that much money too. The person that will fetch them more money is the man himself. What's his name? Martinez. Because remember, the same thing was said about Lukaku, that he wasn't going to leave. He's the most prized asset. And I was one of those that argued that, and he ended up leaving. Bought Gilmore shirt, and I love the kid. I hope he comes back. I hope we'll find a solution. Khalid M says he is a right centre back and not a left centre back. So that's important. So if we're looking for a player for that position, although he plays there also, we should be looking for players who are specialized in fulfilling that role. Because if he comes in, again, it'd be good to have him as part of the squad, like Declan argued. But let's see what happens. Again, 7 shirts and more. Wow, that's quite a lot of Billy Gilmore's shirts. He's been amazing. I hope he comes back and does well. Doubt they will let go of Dumfries, and he wouldn't want to be a backup. Again, when the manager speaks to the player, they do listen. You're coming to compete with another player, and if you feel like you're good enough, you agree to come and do that. So was your heart as a young girl growing up? Okay, they're having a conversation there. Again, it says blue first, but mommy supported Dundee. Yep, you've said that a zillion times, and I know you're a big supporter of Dundee. Chelsea and Dundee United, 2 good clubs, you could argue. Cannot let Parenta United fight. Again, let this Lukaku go in. When, I don't know. Again, imagine, okay, let Lukaku go. I think he's trying. It looks like he's using a translator online because the language doesn't come across. Imagine Lukaku coming back to the beach. That's why it's a very, very, you could say, call it a precarious situation. If he comes back, that's not going to be good for the dressing room. Just that as your final thoughts, Declan. What do you think if Lukaku comes back? What do you think will happen?
Sit on the bench. And then cry all the way till January wanting to leave.
Oh my, I think he sits on the bench though. And I think with that, we've tried our best. You people wanted us to continue until we get to the third hour because it's become a tradition here. I want to say thank you to the Glad for finding the time to join. I know he's very busy, and it's it's not easy for anybody anywhere. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Street Beer. Thank you to Douglas. Thank you to Street Beer, by the way, queen of all streams. Thank you to Lee. Lee was one of those who's pushed that we continue with the show because he was enjoying it, and we are enjoying it. But it sounded boring then because we had addressed everything we had to talk about. Ordwa Sardati, nice to see you. True Blue, thank you for all the great input and education. If you wanna, and Khalid M, everybody else, Queen of the House, Just Viola, who was here, and Ray Allen, for everybody else that joined us, I want to say thank you. And I'm hoping here to host another show later in the day. That is the Transfer Watch show. If I do, I hope you find time to join us. If not, see you tomorrow for another Blue Money show. Thank you so much, and God bless us all. And bye.
Water.